All right. Welcome welcome all to episode 10 of the Casey and Tyler Show. Casey, cheers.
Episode 10, guys. We hit double digits.
I know. I'm surprised. We did it this quickly. We've stuck to our schedule like we said we would. Oh, that was a dick move. I didn't drink after I cheersed you.
I was just gonna let the viewers see that.
Pretty straightforward show for you guys today. We're gonna talk about
our lightest episode. Usually we say our shows are packed.
Yeah,
packed with shit. It's light today. It's light for you guys.
It's the show episode 10. We're gonna be calling it the 3Fs: fishing, football, and more football. Anything you want to say before we get going?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right, Casey. Before we get into the full show sheet, I think we both want to recap our weekends. We both had quite the eventful weekend. We're going to throw a video up on screen right now, just kind of show you guys how Casey's Saturday morning started.
It has been a rough morning for your boy, King Casey. Woke up this morning. Every single light inside my apartment was on. When I mean every light, I mean every fucking light. That light, that light, that light, that light, my laundry room light, my bedroom light, my closet in my bedroom light, my bathroom light. I think that's all the lights in my place. Oh, this light was on too. My patio light was on. My fucking patio light was on. And my door was unlocked. My fucking front door was unlocked. What is going on, Casey? Get it together. Get it together. And I don't know where my glasses are. These are my old part 2. Yeah, lost my glass, woke up, don't know where my glasses are. These are my old pair of glasses. Been searching for the past 2 or 3 fucking hours for them. Don't know where they are. And my place isn't that big. Where the fuck could have they gone? Literally, don't know. Don't know where they are. Have no idea. And, I didn't get that fucked up last night. I remember the entire night. We went to Egan's, had 1 drink at Egan's. Then we went to Frazier's in Ann Arbor. And, okay, I got kind of fuckered up there, but I didn't get blackout drunk to where... Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. Look at what I found. Look at what I found, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what I found. Been searching for the past 3 fucking hours for these, and I fucking found them. They were right fucking there. Yeah, I've been searching for the past 3 hours for these pieces of shit. Fucking ugly ass pair of glasses for them to be right there. Right fucking there. I walked by them at least 10 times. But hey, I found them. I'm happy. Now I need to go to Culver's, get me a fucking nice burger, and then I need to get me a McDonald's Coke ASAP Rocky.
Sup, dude?
Sup?
Got a little loose on Friday, did we not?
Yeah, Friday was fun. Friday was a lot of fun. We planned on going out on this day for a while. We were planning on going out with a coworker and her friend.
Yep.
And then they backed out last week. It was pretty
Thursday,
much
right?
minute.
Yeah, it was the last.
It was Wednesday or
Yeah,
Thursday,
yeah,
something like that. They backed out. So then I texted you and I was like, "Hey, we can still go out. Fuck it. Let's go out."
Yeah, we had already planned.
Yeah, we already planned on going out. Let's go out. So we went out.
As you guys saw the video.
We
It was fun.
We had fun. I mean, like, literally, when we got back to my place, last thing I remember was we were chilling, talking, and we went out in my patio and hung out for a second outside
Yeah,
to
because
get some fresh air.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, with Tuck too. Us being out, we wanted to be able to hang out. I'm pretty sure.
And then I remember we were playing football in the parking lot
at 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Yeah,
Bro, couldn't see a single thing whipping the football at each other.
There was one time you threw a ball right at my head hard, and I didn't see it until the last second.
Yeah.
Like, I cat-like reflexes. I went, boom.
Yeah.
Like an NFL receiver.
You know the boys had a good night when it ends with throwing a football in a dark parking lot of your apartment complex at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, had no business being out there. We probably thought we looked like athletes, but we were stumbling and bumbling around probably. Fun night. As you guys saw, Casey did recover his glasses, so claps about that. Good job, Case.
Good job, Casey. Good job, me. Good job, me. But, like, let me just get onto the story, because that was honestly a Snapchat, and I was trying to get it within a certain time.
Right, yeah.
So,
the best part's when you're like, I woke up in every light in my house, which I do have a comment about, by the way. But I'll let you go first, and I'll tell my side of that whole ordeal.
So I wake up in my bed, and literally my clothes from the night before were on. Usually I'm good about, like, at least changing. And then, like, they were all on. I looked over at my nightstand and my glasses weren't there. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, they probably fell off my nightstand. Looked down on the ground, couldn't find them. Slight panic attack. Looked under the bed, couldn't find it there. I'm like, oh, my God, okay. Well, I was drunk last night. I probably fell asleep on the couch.
We did.
Probably put them down on the table.
We fell asleep
on my coffee table.
We fell asleep on the couch in the same position that we record this podcast in. I was on this side of the couch, you were on that side of the couch. I woke up at one point to Tucker just licking my face, and I looked over. I was like, we must have started to talk about recording a pod last night and just fell asleep or something. I don't know.
So come out here, look on the coffee table, like on this table right here. Couldn't find it. Looked all around here. Then the panic attack really started to kick in.
Yeah.
Didn't know where it was. Looked on my TV stand. Didn't find them. Looked all over. Went in my bedroom again. Went in my bathroom. Looked over my entire place 5 or 6 times. And it was about 11. I was like, fuck it. I'm done. Went and grabbed my old pair of glasses.
I mean, at this point, you were like, I gotta go get a new pair. Like that, you had already accepted the fact.
Yeah, already accepted. I was like, okay, on Monday, I'm gonna go to my eye doctor and say, hey, I need a new pair of glasses, and I'm gonna spend a couple $100.
Well, because you wear them every day, that you invest in your glasses, right? Yeah.
And it's one of those things that these won't be covered by my insurance.
Yeah, because yeah,
they already covered it.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna pay full price for these. So I'm like, oh my God. So
do you go to Eyeglass World? Or do you?
No, I go right over here.
Okay. Because I know at Eyeglass World when I have glasses for like tired eyes. Like they're prescription glasses, but like when I'm editing and stuff, they help a lot. I think I developed like in law school from reading so much, my eyes kind of got bad. But it was funny the one time that I was there, they were like, hey, for like $2, you want to add the protection plan? I'm like, what's that include? They're like, all we need is a piece of the glasses and we'll cover it. So like if your dog chews them, like. Or something, he goes, all we need is a single piece. When they're lost, there's no cover. Yeah. So you would have been screwed.
Fucked.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up.
I'm just saying.
So, yeah. And I start making the Snapchat, and as you guys see, that was a live reaction of me finding my glasses.
Yeah.
I was creating the Snapchat, I'm just looking around, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it was my fucking glasses.
I have zero idea how they ended up there.
Neither do I. Because last thing I remember was me sitting on this spot in the couch.
The only thing I can think of is if you were cleaning up or something and like somehow just set them there, but like that's a bizarre spot for them to end up.
Only thing I can think
of is the extension cords that we use for the lights. Like that's what you guys see in the Snapchat is like those extension cables are what you use for the lights for the pod. And I'm like, we wouldn't even messing with those on Saturday or on Friday night.
The only thing I can think of is maybe I started messing around with Tucker on the ground over there and
they fell off and you just set them there. So
no, I just put them over there because I know they will get broken if I keep on messing with them.
Yeah.
But like, well, I don't know why I would put them down there and I wouldn't put them on top.
Yeah.
But hey, I found them.
So.
And then I woke up. Literally every single fucking light inside my place was on.
Yeah. So at one point, like we sit down. My girlfriend was over. She fell asleep in the chair. It's like, whatever. I was like, just let her sleep. I was like, no reason. Like, obviously, we knew we could stay here. No drinking and driving. Didn't want to do anything dumb. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. Well, Casey and I are just sitting here, and like, it's one of those things where like we were having a convo, and like I just kept talking, and I looked over, and Casey's just asleep, and I was like, oh, all right, no big deal. At this point, I don't remember if you had your glasses on or not, but like whatever. Tuck was kind of bothering me, and I was like, Tuck, do you want to go outside? Go outside is what I said. I don't want to say it too loud right now, but and so I was like, Casey, just so you know, I'm gonna let Tucker out. Casey was unresponsive at this point, so I let Tuck out. Couldn't figure out how to use the leash, so I almost killed myself with that damn retractable leash. He had it as far as it could go. I could not figure out what to do to make it come back. Well, I finally get it off of him, and I press the button. That whole fucking leash comes zipping up and hit me. It was nuts. I was way too buzzed up at this point to be dealing with that. And then, so I come back inside, and I turn off the lights because I'm like, it's bedtime. Let's turn off the lights. Well, Tucker did not like that and took exception to all the lights being off without being like in bed with Casey. So I wake Casey up, and I'm like, hey, your dog's about to have a heart attack. Like, just take him to bed. And you're like, what'd you turn all the lights off for? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, we were going to bed. And he was like, well, turn the fucking lights back on. So I turned off all the lights that I could find. Like, I don't know if I was just trolling or I couldn't figure, like, somehow, some way, it went from all the lights being off to all the lights being on. And I fell back asleep quickly, woke up early. I woke up at one point, I think Casey got up at like 5 or 6, because I do remember him getting up and throwing the blanket on me like he was pissed off. And I was like, well, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I'm here still. Sorry. And we left at like just before 8. Kelsey and I left. And I went back home, hungover, like went back to bed. Was like, I have a couple hours before the game in England. And the first text I get was...
that would have been football, Saturday football.
So, college. Sorry, college. I knew I had some time until college game day and whatnot. So, I get the text from Casey that's like, dude, I can't find my glasses. And I didn't think anything of it. He texted me a couple of things, and like, I don't know, an hour later, he's like, I found my glasses. And I was like, I just knew that we had to bring it up on the show because it was a shit show. Whenever we go out, it always ends just chaotically. Nothing bad ever happens, but it is just chaos. It feels like.
Yeah, no, it's 100% chaos. I would say, out of 10 times, 7 of those times something happens. Yeah. Nothing bad, but
like, nothing like dangerous.
It's like, okay, either we get back from the bar and then we both think we get down.
We're athletes.
Yeah, we think we're athletes, and then we get down in the lineman stance and see who can
try to do Oklahoma drills.
You can fucking pancake the other person.
Never ends up well for your boy.
I always fucking put his ass
KG does. Ground. So. Obviously we went out Friday, had a good time. I continued to be a degenerate Saturday. My golf partner had some people over to his pub that he built in his house. Got absolutely loaded there trying. I think I had 13 different bourbons almost. It was good. Maybe 13 might be a stretch, but he has like every bourbon under the sun. So we were taste testing a bunch of bourbons. No big deal. Went home Saturday night. Cool. Well, Sunday's when it really, really got bad for your boy. One of the... A guy I know at this local bar in Ipsy called Aubrey's had saved up points throughout the year. So he had a $350 tab he could spend all for free on points. So there was like these reserve signs for us. And like for anyone that knows, the easiest way to explain this place, it is just a local like restaurant. It's not like a dive bar. It's like a family restaurant. But they had these reserve signs out at this table for all of us to come sit. Kelsey was there with me at the beginning. She had to leave to go to family function. I was like, I'll just have one more beer and I'll go home and watch the second half of the Lions. That didn't happen. I was as useless yesterday as I've ever been in my life. Sunday fun days are off limits.
Yeah, you were literally told me to come and pick you up to drive you 0.7 miles down the road.
Yeah.
You wanted me to drive 15 minutes to come pick you up. To drive you a minute down the road.
It was dangerous. It would have been dangerous. I was not in a state to walk home. That would have been bad.
Mean?
Dude, it would have been not a good idea.
Not that bad of a walk.
Just wouldn't have been a good idea.
I would have sobered you up.
Probably, yeah. But instead, I said, you know what? I'll just wait till about 6 p.m. for Kelsey to be done with her family thing, and then she can pick me up. But, in that time, that 4 hours, There's just a lot of booze. We got after it. It was fun. I know I didn't make an ass of myself, but I do know I was in rough shape because I got a text today from a guy in Golf League, and he's like, dude, are you okay? I've never seen you in that bad of shape. And I'm like, well, I've been in bad shape before, but typically I keep it pretty locked in at Aubrey's because I go there so often with family or friends and stuff, and I don't like to be that guy. But I was useless. Casey's texting me stuff about the show, and I'm like, just quit. Anything he sent me yesterday, when I absorbed it, and then I forgot about it. So it was a rough weekend for your boy. I think Sundays are off limits for me going forward. Just going to try to casually enjoy some Red Zone and relax. But yeah, we both had quite the weekend. I would say that. Another thing that rocked social media this weekend.
This was a funny video.
A fishing scandal.
Yeah.
Should we throw the video up?
Let's throw the video. Yeah, throw the video up.
Okay, yeah.
Get out of here! You don't need. Where's the other one? Fucking cops! That's fucking death, motherfucker! Call the fucking cops! Listen to me right now. Everybody listen to me right now. Jake, I want you to leave. I don't want anybody to touch these guys. I want you to leave. You need to go to jail. Jason, you should call the cops. It's theft. It's theft. You fucking this is bullshit. Tournaments have you done this, motherfucker? You fucking piece of shit. Don't we need to file a police report? Yeah, I would. Jason, we gotta file a police report. All of them. All of them. Every fucking one. Every single fucking thing. Jake, every you fucking champ, dude. I mean, we all fucking knew it. What the fuck, man? Fuck yeah, every time you go fucking guy. You got him. A filleted fish. Look at this. Is a fillet, yeah. A fillet fish. It's a walleye fillet. He needs to go to jail. You have anything to say, Jay? You call the cops. I got video. You got anything to say? You guys didn't refund all that fucking money. You fucking talk shit to me, dude. And that's what you fucking do. How many fucking ways are in there? You fucking scum. You fucking piece of shit. Way to go, Steve! Why did you take pictures? I need pictures. You videoing this whole thing? Got video. Yeah. I videoed it right off the rip. Just making sure. Hold on, let me take pictures. You fucked over a lot of people, man. They've been doing this shit for years. Cheating motherfuckers, man. Piece of fucking shit. I know that. You got a fucking boat. You got thousands of fucking dollars. You stole from everyone. Here we go! Get out of here! You don't need. Where's the other one?
Just hydrating, dude. So yeah, that was the video that rocked Twitter and various other social media platforms this weekend. I saw it. I personally couldn't believe it.
Neither could I. I mean, like, why would you? I mean, I get it. Obviously, you do it to try to win, but it's okay. What's the point?
Well, I thought the video, dude, people are pissed, and I couldn't believe it. He was stuffing his fish with lead balls and then like fillet cuts of different types of fish. Like, that's a next level scumbag. You heard in the video there, they're yelling, call the cops, call the cops. I wasn't sure what like recourse they could really do, but I do have an article up here. Authorities are probing a report of a scandal at a Lake Erie fishing tournament. This comes out of Cleveland. The county prosecutor's office in Cleveland has opened an investigation into an apparent cheating scandal during the lucrative walleye fishing tournament on Lake Erie last week. A video posted to Twitter shows that the tournament director, I think his name's Jason Fisher, funny name to be a fishing tournament director, for the Lake Erie Walleye Trail. He was cutting open the winning catch of 5 walleye on Friday, finding lead weights, and then prepared fish fillets inside them. What sucks is that like these people that got caught cheating won a ton of tournaments last year. I think in one of the tournaments they won a $70K boat out of it based on how well they're doing. and I didn't know this. This came as a surprise to me. I didn't know that there was this much controversy in these fishing tournaments. After tournaments, they'll make you take a lie detector test, a polygraph test, to basically say that, like, it's not necessarily that you stuffed your fish, but it's that you didn't, like, go out the night before and put, like, caged fish out in a spot and be like, well, that's just where we're going to go, and you already know that you have a catch, and various other, I guess, shitty ways to be a human to cheat in that event. This is just, I don't want to say it's funny because I know this is some people's livelihood. I see them. But, like, what a bizarre, I never thought that we'd be talking about a cheating fishing scandal on this podcast.
Oh, I know. This is so funny. This is so funny. I mean, I have nothing to say. Cheaters never win, but
yeah,
this is so funny.
The winning anglers, Jacob Runyon and Chase Kaminsky, were immediately disqualified. People showed, the video showed, like, the tournament director, Fisher, urging them to, like, leave because they knew, like, there was, like, about to be a fight. Like, their, like, literally, like, livelihood was going to be in jeopardy because people were so upset.
Yeah, no, he literally had to say, I want you guys to leave and no one to touch you.
Yeah, yep. The prosecutor, Michael O'Malley, said, I take all crimes seriously, including an attempted felony theft at a fishing tournament. These individuals will be held accountable. I think that the reason it's probably being taken so serious is because it is fishing, especially, like, in Lake Erie and for Cleveland. That's, like, a big deal in that community. But yeah, so it does sound like these guys are going to be prosecuted for cheating in a fishing tournament. And I think the thing that I am curious about is, well, are they going to, like, go back and punish them? I mean, I don't know how you can punish them for previous tournaments. There's not concrete proof that they're cheating. But in that video, if you hear, you can, like, there's people that definitely think that they've been doing this for multiple tournaments.
A while, yeah.
So I don't know if there's going to be much more on this. Obviously, NFL dominates the headlines. But if anything comes up, if these guys do get sentenced, we'll be sure to let you guys know. Yeah. Just a wild way to start the weekend. I sent that to you. I was laughing so hard.
I was dying.
But that's all the other news we have. Should we get into our
top five? Okay, we have to spice up Tuesday episode. Let's do a top five.
Top five.
We have to bring in something that is.
We needed some pizzazz.
Yes. Going one. I'm going one. We're doing college football jerseys. Easy 1-1.
Texas Longhorns 1-1. All right, let's get into the segment. All right, guys, time for the top 5 segment this week. Top 5 NFL jerseys. We thought it was only appropriate since we just did college jerseys. Time to do the NFL jerseys. So let's do it.
I have a ton on my list. I think I have 16 on my list. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. I have 16 out of 32 teams on my list. I love the NFL jerseys. I almost had 20. I said, screw it, stop at 16. So, you have your list up?
I'll be honest, I'm probably just about to wing this.
Like you usually do?
Shut up. All right, let's do it.
Well, wait, are we doing rock, paper, scissors, best out of one?
Yeah.
Okay. Cue the Western music.
Cue the Western music. I love that. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Let's go! Woo! Woo! Finally got a dub in the rock. Last week was intense. I think we went to like fifth overtime or something. We had a lot of yeah. Okay, let me determine the order. I will go second. I want picks 2 and 3. You get pick 1-1.
Okay, this is an easy 1-1. I think 1-1 and 1-2 are top 2. 49ers.
Damn it, that's a good one.
I love the 49ers jersey. I'm looking at them right now. The red and gold, I love that. It is a clean jersey. It is a classic jersey. I love the 49ers jersey. I think it is the best jersey in the NFL. That is my 1-1. You fucked up by giving it to me.
That's a good one. And just so people know, we are talking about home and away jerseys, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're not picking just a singular one, but I'm just looking at the red jersey with that gold helmet with the red and white SF. That jersey looks so clean right now on that football field. Jimmy G looks like a fucking the best quarterback of all time out there right now.
Dude, shut up. You're okay. That's cap. For my first pick 1-2, I'm gonna go with the Los Angeles Chargers.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
They have kind of gone back to like the baby blues being like they're not an alternate anymore. That's just what they wear. I think one of the things that really does it for me is just the lightning bolt. The bolt is sick. Love the Chargers.
That as one. I was debating between. It was like that, the 49ers, and there was a third team.
So I like the Chargers jersey a lot, both home and away. I just think they're clean, they're unique, and they're different. My second pick, this is a tough one, but I am going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders.
That is a good one. That was my third team. Those are two good picks right there, man.
Thank you. The reason I like the Raiders, I just think there's something about the black and silver. It's dope.
Classic.
It's classic. And it's simple. As you guys know, when we talked about the college jerseys, we both are fans of just the classic. It's simple, but like you look at the Raiders jersey, man. They're both
when you
home
think
and
of
away.
the NFL, and like you think of like you know what like when you think of the Raiders, you know what it is. When you say the Raiders, you know it's black and silver. You know what to expect with the jerseys. They look fucking sick. That is a good pick there.
Yeah.
My next pick, I'm gonna go the Philadelphia Eagles.
Love that.
I love that jersey, and I love the green. I love their black alternate jersey, and they wear that a lot actually.
They do. They do.
And then I love
The helmet's so sick.
The helmet looks fucking sick.
I will say too, they could be my favorite away jersey because I love the way the white looks with their green pants.
Yes.
It's very good. Helmets are sweet, and on the list that I checked, they weren't like as highly rated as I thought they should be. But I agree, the Eagles are. The Eagles honestly are probably my personal favorite, just because I had a black McNabb jersey growing up, and I love that jersey.
Yeah, I love them. My next pick is the New England Patriots. I love their jerseys. I love how they switched it up from before, the dark blue with the red face mask, the silver helmet with the fucking Patriot on the side. I love them. I think their jersey would look a lot better if they switched to that one white helmet.
Yeah, the white helmet's sick. That's like what their classic alternate helmet, I think, with the old style Patriots guy on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I love the Patriots jerseys.
Yeah, those are good.
You're what, last two?
No, I got 3, 2, 4, 1 here. Because I've only picked the Chargers and the Raiders so far. I still got 3 picks. You went.
Oh yeah, then I go 2, then you go 1.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with the Green Bay Packers.
That's
round 3,
one.
pick 2. It's funny because if you told me that green and yellow would be a good color combination for a jersey, I would say you're nuts. But they make it work so well. It's also so classic. One of the NFL's longest teams or oldest teams. Something about it that's just sweet to me.
That's a good one.
So I'm gonna go with the Packers, and then for my next pick, I am gonna go with. This is tough. Cowboys are still out there. I gotta go with my gut here. I gotta go with the Baltimore Ravens.
I love them. I love the jerseys, dude. I love the all black jersey,
dude. It
looks sick.
Yeah, we talked about it when we did NFL or college. Excuse me. Just how teams use purple. It always seems to work so well. The Raven is kind of a slept on mascot or logo, I should say. I think the colors perfectly encompass the city of Baltimore. Tough, gritty city. Black and purple are just that color combination so fire to me. And I got the Ravens.
I love.
So
that.
Who are your last 2 picks?
This is a tough one. Let's go the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
I love it.
With the red, white, and blue colors.
Sticking with the red, white, and blue colors. I just love everything about the Bills. Just love them.
You're a big Bills guy.
Big Bill guy. And then my last pick. Oh shit! Let's do it. I'm going the Kansas City Chiefs.
Really?
I love their jerseys.
Really?
No. Nope. I'm taking that back.
Pick.
I'm going New Orleans Saints.
That's a good one.
My last pick, I'm going the New Orleans Saints. I love the black and gold. I love it. It is a classic look. I everything about the Saints I love.
Yeah, that's a good one. Saints, arguably maybe the best jersey in NFL. The Saints, and it just again perfectly encompasses that sports town. For the last pick in our top 5, I'm going the Dolphins, Miami Dolphins.
That's a good pick. That's a really good pick.
Their jerseys are fire. I know we're probably going to get a lot of flack for not having the Cowboys on here, but fuck the Cowboys. Nah, I love Cooper Rush, but fuck the Cowboys. Got some honorable mentions you want to bring up?
No.
Let's just recap real quick.
Let's go over your top 5, then I'll go over mine.
I have Chargers, Raiders, Packers, Ravens, Dolphins.
I have 49ers, Saints, Bills, Eagles, Patriots.
Yeah, I got some honorable mentions. I think the Seahawks deserve an honorable mention.
That jersey sucks.
I don't think so.
I love the Lions jersey. I think that's an honorable mention. I love the Honolulu blue.
It looks really good with the silver too.
I love it. Just look at this helmet right here.
Yeah.
This is a sick ass helmet. Just the Honolulu blue with the silver. Just looks fucking sick.
I think the Giants uniforms are iconic.
Yeah, to an extent.
The Bears suck. Steelers are good. Again, iconic. Colts are good. I loved the Tennessee Titans uniform. Absolutely love those.
I'm a fan of those.
I love the way they use those two
Vikings,
different blues.
That was one you said you didn't like.
Yeah, I didn't like the Vikings.
And I like the Bengals.
Bengals have done a good job. I didn't used to like them, but they've done some small changes. Another one that I think's underrated is the Bucks, because they have that like grayish bronze alternate that's cold.
I'm not a
and I love their helmets with the Buccaneer on the side.
I just like their helmet. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
That's all I have on mine.
I don't have any other ones that are worth mentioning. That's probably it. So you had the Chiefs, right? No, you went with the Saints instead.
I went with Saints instead.
So the Chiefs would be an honorable mention.
Chiefs would be an honorable mention.
Cool. Well, that does it for our top 5. Make sure you comment below who you guys think won. Feel free to give us some suggestions for the top 5 next week.
Yeah, we're starting to run out of ideas, folks.
I got a couple. I think next week we should try top 5 worst of something. Or is that too hard to do? Or we could do top. We got a couple ideas left cooking. We'll think of something good. But this was one we wanted to do, especially with Monday Night Football being on. But yeah, comment below what you guys think. They should be up on the screen for you guys like they were last week. And give us your feedback on that. Let's yeah. Is it time?
It's time. College football, week 5.
Cue the music.
Folks, let's get into college football and another sad week for us Spartans. Michigan State at Maryland. Maryland wins 27-13.
Yeah.
I started watching this game. Michigan State looked decent, okay first half. I stopped watching second half when Maryland started taking over the lead because there was just, honestly, there was other better games on. Arkansas started making a comeback in their game. What was another game that was on? There was a couple of Oklahoma State, Baylor was a good game.
Ohio State was on.
Fuck, I mean that was a blowout.
I just needed the over. Third straight loss for Michigan State. It's the longest losing streak in Mel Tucker's 3 seasons as MSU head coach. He basically, after the game said in terms, when we turn to the game film, it's going to show a lack of execution on offense, defense, and special teams. Peyton Thorne, again, underwhelming for Michigan State. 27 of 44 for 221 yards and a touchdown. But I think the stat I saw was Michigan State only had 75 yards of offense in the second half. Maryland had like 230 plus, I think. Just tough. They only had 316 yards of offense for the day. They gave up 489 yards on defense, 489 yards on defense. And basically the story, they couldn't get off the field on third down. I think Maryland converted 7 of their third down attempts, and they were 2 for 3 on fourth downs as well. Maryland continued to look better than I think people thought. Tualia Tagovailoa went 32 of 41 for 314 yards. I don't know. It's tough to get a read on both the teams. Spartans got to figure some shit out, though.
They do. I mean, their season's over pretty much.
Yeah.
Their season is over.
Yeah, their defense is just, I don't know. Mel Tucker's got to make an adjustment, man. They're getting torched on defense. I know the offense, it hasn't played great, but like I think the games against Washington and Minnesota, like they just struggled from the gate. And that the way Michigan State was so good last year is they didn't ask the offense to have to do too much, and they're just not in a position this year. They're without K9. He got drafted. Obviously, they just haven't really looked the same on either side of the ball. They'll still have an opportunity to come into the big house and mess up Michigan's season. But
that's if they can make it through Ohio State. They're I think the spread right now is 25.5.
Yeah,
and it's most likely just going to go up.
Yeah,
I can see that reaching at least 27.
I saw today Mel Tucker was pleading with fans not to sell their tickets. He's worried. He's like, we can't lose our home field advantage. Don't they have Ohio State coming up?
Yeah, this week.
So he was like, please don't sell your tickets. It needs to continue to be home field advantage. It's important for us. But my guess is that comes at rumors as people are probably already selling tickets. He goes, please don't sell them, especially to Ohio State fans.
I mean, why go? To literally stay there until halftime because you're getting sick of your team getting smoked by 40?
Yeah.
Ohio State's going to win by more than 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
They might be
my minus cover of the week. We'll see.
I don't know. It just feels like it feels like they're gonna play them tighter than that. You would hope so. If they do get
look at last year.
They got dog walked, didn't they?
Yeah, they're gonna get dog walked this year.
Yeah. You worried about Mel Tucker going forward, or do you think just a bad year? Chalk it up to a bad year.
Bad year.
Their special teams struggle too. Even I think they missed a 34-yard field goal. Just not a lot going right for the Spartans in all facets of the game. Got to get a lot better if they want to, beat anybody else going forward. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
What's games next?
So next, moving on, number 4, Michigan heading to Iowa. Michigan wins closer than you would think. It's 27-14. Michigan looked like they were going to roll with them.
Yeah.
And then Iowa started making a little comeback, and then Michigan kind of put on the little icing on the top, icing on the cake later on to make it a 13-point game.
Yeah, I was gonna say Michigan started the game exactly how you want to start the game on offense. 11 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown on the end.
Looked good.
Yeah, the way they started
that drive looked good.
Yeah, well, I think they only had 1 third down on the entire drive. Definitely, from a Michigan's fans' perspective, looked a lot better, especially at the start of the game this week than they did against Maryland. JJ looked a lot more comfortable. It looked like they shored up some of the play calling issues that I think plagued them against Maryland, even though they eventually won the game. I don't know. They looked a little sloppy on offense, to be honest. I don't know. They went into Kinnick, got it done. It's never going to be easy when you go out and play there. We talked about it at length on the pod for Thursday's episode, that top 5 teams go to die there, and they made it close kind of late. I think Michigan got a little conservative, especially in the second half, which is understandable. I mean, I get it, but Michigan gets it done. Do they move up the rankings, or do they stay at 4?
They stayed at 4.
Okay.
The only thing that changed was Bama jumped to Georgia, and we'll get to that. We'll get to the reason why that happened later.
Yeah.
There's not about Ohio State's 3 and Ohio State looked good.
Yeah.
Michigan's not going to jump Ohio State unless Ohio State has a little bad week.
Right. Michigan's defense played really well. They let up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That was the only quarter Iowa was able to score in. So some could argue that garbage time touchdowns, it didn't really matter. The game was kind of out of hand. This is the third time Michigan team moves to 5-0 under Harbaugh. And again, Michigan scored on 4 of its first 5 possessions.
National championships too.
Blake Corum continues to dazzle, 133 yards and a touchdown. I think he leads the Big Ten in rushing touchdowns, or maybe all touchdowns. He's off to a great year. So we'll have to keep an eye. I mean, Michigan got it done. It's still hard to tell. We knew Iowa sucked. The only reason there was any type of, I don't say nervousness about this, is just because you're heading to Iowa, and Iowa, as we talked about, gets it done at home. Michigan should coast rest of their schedule until they play Penn State. That's probably their next big test.
Yeah, they have, I think, Indiana next.
Indiana,
Penn State, Michigan State.
Yeah.
Or Indiana, Penn State, bye week, Michigan State.
Yeah, so, hopefully they get past Indiana. Penn State should prove to be a test. It seems like those teams always play each other close. But I don't know. It's still hard to get a read because even though that's a tough place to play, I think you mentioned it last week, Iowa's defense isn't the same defense as last year, so it's still just hard to tell. Do they perform well in a tough environment against a bad team, or is Michigan really not all that great? I mean, they had some adversity against Maryland, but I don't know that they were ever worried about losing the game.
Right.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that going forward. What's the next game you got?
Next game, this was a really, really good game. Number 7, Kentucky, playing number 14, Ole Miss. Ole Miss wins a tight one, 22-19. Did you see that celebration between the coaches and the press box in the box? That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a tough angle for that guy.
Yeah, tough angle for a big fella.
Yeah, but they were juiced up after that win. I don't know. I think
after Will Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis took some hits in that game. It sounded like Lane Kiffin was pretty upset with his defense and maybe some of the defensive play calling heading into the game. I'm assuming this game changed his opinion because his defense played really well. They forced 2 turnovers in the final 3 minutes, which kind of, I think helped preserve that victory. Kind of a weird game. Ole Miss started off with 14 points and they score 5 in the second quarter and only 3 in the third quarter. Both teams scoreless in the fourth. That's kind of the difference maker. I think Ole Miss defense stepped up in the fourth quarter, as I just said. The two turnovers to win the game at the end of the year. I guess Kiffin told his defense at halftime that he didn't think they were very good. And I think maybe that caused him to rise to the occasion a little bit.
Sound off, dude.
I just did. They also forced Levis, the Kentucky's quarterback, to fumble on consecutive possessions. So I don't know, man. I think Kentucky wasn't favored, right? It was Kentucky plus 6.5.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So even though they were the higher ranked team, they did cover. Which, what do we say about teams that cover?
Good coaches win, great coaches cover.
Yes, sir. I don't know. Do you think this is a win for Ole Miss that kind of,
or the other way around?
Sorry, go ahead.
So Lane Kiffin is a good coach. He's not a great coach since he didn't cover.
I would say this speaks more about Mark Stoops and the Wildcats, right?
No, because if he was great, he would have won. He's just good because he covered. So in this case, he's good. If he was great, he would have won.
Okay.
You get what I'm laying down?
No.
You want me to fucking draw it out for you?
That'd be great. Okay. Yeah, let's see what you got.
Okay. So, what are we talking about again?
Coach is covering.
Okay, coach is covering. Okay. So you have a
We are so unlocked.
You have a -6, right? And we're going to put in this little...
Hey, don't fuck up. That's my notes there. You can do it on that page.
This page?
Yeah, just do it underneath that stuff.
Yeah. So you have a -6, right?
6.5.
Okay, 0.5. Plus 6.5, right?
Okay, yep, I understand.
Okay. Now this you can do, get this dude money line. Right?
Okay.
Right? This dude, this side money line.
Okay.
Okay. If this happens, that means he's a good coach because he covered.
Yeah.
If this happens, that means he's a great coach because he fucking won outright when he was a fucking dog.
Okay.
And that's what just happened.
No, the team that was favored won.
Yeah, but Kentucky covered, so good coach. Lane Kiffin.
No, good teams win, great teams cover. That's the saying.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin. Good Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss is not a great team. They're just a good team.
Right, because they didn't cover. We agree.
Yeah.
The story of this game was kind of the end of the game that we talked about. Kentucky coach Mark Stoops did say it came down to 2 opportunities late in the red zone. They came away with no points there. Good?
I'm fucking good. Are you fucking good, dude?
I'm good. I don't know. Any reads on these teams going forward? Or
I just think that they both looked good.
yeah, I do. It's kind of just a battle.
Game,
yeah, it was. It was. I think the thing that Kentucky's going to think about is they missed 2 extra points and a 39-yard field goal in the first half. So, shooting yourselves in the foot's never a good way. And I guess they're at the end of the game, they had like an illegal motion penalty that would have wiped out a potential game-winning TD pass in the final minute. So penalties to shooting yourself in the foot, kind of the story for Kentucky here.
Yep.
But that's all I got for this one. I don't know. Lane Kiffin's got his Ole Miss Rebels up to 5-1. See what happens.
Fuck Lane Kiffin. He's not a good coach.
What's interesting, another note from this game that I'm reading right now is there was a lot of NFL in the house. A total of 17 NFL personnel representing 12 teams were credentialed for the game. I guess they were primarily there to evaluate Will Levis, Kentucky quarterback. He's considered a first-round draft choice. Can't trust him, though, because he puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
You didn't trust him.
Okay. Kentucky moves on. They got South Carolina on Saturday.
They'll roll them.
And the Rebels visit Vanderbilt, so both those teams should win.
Yeah, they should.
I agree. Coop. Coop.
All right.
What's the next game you got?
Next game is number 2 Bama was playing number 20 Arkansas. Bama wins 49-26. This game was honestly a lot closer than
the score.
Than the score was, just because.
Shout out to the overhitting, by the way. Sorry.
Overhit. And another thing was Arkansas had a chance to tie this game in the third quarter, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. Good game, fun to watch. Bryce Young goes out with an injury. Sounds like he's got an AC sprain in his shoulder. They're hopeful he'll play against A&M, which that's going to be a game to watch after all that drama happened in the offseason.
I think Saban said he could have played on Saturday, but he just didn't because there was just no point. That freshman quarterback was playing good.
Yeah, Arkansas scored 16 in the third. Bama didn't score any, and that's when the game got close.
Yeah, because Bama was up 28-0, and then it got to 21-28, I think it was, or something like that.
28-23.
28-23,
Yeah.
Then Arkansas had the ball, had a chance to tie it, and they didn't, and then Bama just went on and just started rolling
because
them.
Bama outscored them in the fourth 21-3. That was kind of the story of the game. I don't know. Saban hasn't lost to Arkansas in his 16 years as Alabama coach. So he continues to roll Arkansas, whether it's in Tuscaloosa or Fayetteville. It doesn't seem to matter. This was a good game. Sucks for the Arkansas because they dropped 2 losses in a row, which I still think they're better than their 3-2 record suggests. They should have beaten A&M. That just a series of unfortunate events happened in that game that kind of took it the other way. And this game's tough. I mean, Bryce Young, I know he didn't play very much. What time? So he was 7 of 13 for 173 with a touchdown and a pick.
It was like towards the middle end of the second quarter when he got taken out.
Yeah, their backup came in. Looked like they were in trouble for a minute. It was like third and like 11. They had all the receivers bottled up, and he scampered for like 75 yards, and that was kind of a dagger because I think all the momentum shifted from Arkansas to Alabama, and after that, it wasn't really close. If they were able to get that stop and force a punt there, down 5, I think they were. Who knows what would have happened, especially if Arkansas would have went down and scored and taken the lead. Now you have an unexperienced quarterback playing in a crazy environment. Anything can happen with these kids. Alabama looked good, man. This is what Saban does. I was worried about the line being 17.5, and it's like, dude, it's just historically Bama, like, just dog walks teams. This did feel like too many points, and for most of the game, it looked like we were on the right side of that. Fucking that kid from Georgia, that transfer, Gibbs, their running back. Good. He went off. Georgia Tech, 18 carries for 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 76-yard scamper. Looked really good. Probably going to be another back that, comes out of Bama and gets drafted.
Dominates in the NFL.
Yep, he looked very good. He had also another run for 72 yards, so he busted just 2 long ones. I don't know. Do you think Bryce Young being hurt in this game will hurt his Heisman hopes, or do you think that really only counts if he doesn't play next week?
I mean, it's definitely going to hurt him.
Just because I just think, like, when you look at stats, it's like he probably would have had 2 more tuts at least.
Yep. So, I mean, yes, it definitely hurts him, but Bama does move to number 1 after this week because might as well bring it up now. Number 1, Georgia had an issue against Mizzou on Saturday.
It was funny because Mizzou, like, they had the lead with, like, not a lot of time left.
They were up the entire game.
Yeah. Got to catch the tail end of that game, right when Georgia kind of started to be like, oh, shit, if we don't start doing something now, we will lose. And it did look like Georgia just flipped a switch. It was like, okay, time to win the game. And
literally.
Yeah. Like, they were just kind of lollygagging, like, dude, there's so much time left, not worried. And it's like,
it was like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to play now. It's time to show up. No, I found that funny that they pretty much took the lead with, I think, 4.5 minutes left. And then from there, game was over.
Yeah.
Then Georgia moves down to number 2 in the rankings.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, it's almost like Saban got like love for going into Fayetteville, and although the game was close, they ended up routing them. It does feel like a little bit of an overreaction to move Georgia out of the 1 spot, though. It just, to me, it's a little
like shit. Bama's obviously number 1 right now.
I don't know. Keep an eye on Arkansas. Has been a darling of mine all year. I've taken them in some form almost every week, and that just they might be. I think they're probably out of the top 25 now.
Yeah, I don't remember where they dropped to.
Yeah, but tough loss for Arkansas. I really wanted to see them get it done.
Me too.
It's always fun when like a quote unquote underdog at home is able to pull something,
especially against like a top 5 team.
Yeah, it's always fun when that's.
Moving on, number 9, Oklahoma State wins not really a close one, dominates the entire game against number 16, Baylor.
Yeah, third quarter was the story of this game.
Oklahoma State wins 36-25. They were pretty much in control. I mean, it was a good back-and-forth game, but then all of a sudden, like you said, third quarter, Oklahoma State started taking control.
Even though they got outscored in the third quarter by 5 points, the 9 spot that they hung on in the second, it was just too much for it was like too little too late for the Bears. I was really, really certain that the under was going to hit in this game. I thought it was going to be a defensive battle.
It overhit in the third quarter, I think.
It's tough to get a read. I mean, the Oklahoma moves to 4-0. Baylor drops to 3-2. Baylor's now probably out of that Big 12 race, huh? Don't you think?
No.
You don't think even with 2 losses?
Who was their first loss to?
I don't know. They're 3-2 and 1-1, and they lost in double overtime to BYU.
Yeah, that's not conference play. They still have a shot. They have 1 loss in conference play.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. So they're 1-1 in conference. We'll see. Oklahoma looks good. Their quarterback played well. I think he was 20 of 29. Only 181 yards, but still a pretty good completion percentage. I think Spencer Sanders is his name. They played well. This was a fun game to watch. I mean, I know it wasn't for you because I think you had the under, right?
Yeah, I had the under.
And so, like, it was kind of
I had Baylor minus 2.5.
Yeah, so it was stressful for you. But other than that, like, just from a straight viewing perspective, it was a fun game to watch. I think we talked about this on the pod last ep, just how the Big 12 is basically a big round robin because every team plays each other at least once. These games, especially amongst the teams at the top of that conference, they just have such big implications because if you beat that team straight up or in your head-to-head, if it comes down to a tie or something, you get the advantage. So it's always fun to watch these Big 12 shootouts.
Yep, I agree with that.
But not much to say there. Like I said, Oklahoma State just does enough, man. Just does enough. This was at Baylor too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So they went into Baylor country, got that shit done. I don't know. You watched pretty much this entire game, right? Did anything stand out to you?
No, not really. Well, I was like switching between this and the Bama game, so
Okay.
I was just kind of watching both of them.
This was Oklahoma State's third straight win against Baylor. And I guess I said the story was really the third quarter, but now I think about it, the story was really holding Baylor to just 3 points in the first half. They kind of got out to a cushion, had a lead there. Oklahoma State returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And then there was some, like I said, they traded blows back and forth in the second. It's just a little too little too late. Oklahoma State's defense forced 2 Baylor interceptions. It's kind of the story of the game there, too. And Oklahoma State, like we said, moves to 4-0. Mike Gundy, I'm a man. I'm 40. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
What game you got next there, brother?
There's really not much to say about this game, but it was just a top 25 matchup, and we were both really wrong about the weather of this game.
Yeah, we were
Number 22, Wake Forest, playing number 23, Florida State. Wake Forest wins 31-21. We both said this was going to be a low-scoring game. We both said there was going to be rain. We both said it was going to be a shit show. We both were wrong.
Yeah. This was, I think the biggest takeaway for me, I watched almost this entire game, big Florida State guy. Wake Forest finally was able to run the football. I think they had 171 rushing yards. That's not something they've been able to do all season. And I think that kind of allowed Sam Hartman, Wake Forest's quarterback in that offense, to catch a breath when they needed to, control the clock. Just good showing with Wake Forest. It can be tough after you lose a heartbreaker like they did to Clemson to bounce back in conference play and get it done. Are you telling me to hold on?
No, him.
Oh, okay.
He can wait until this game and the next game, then I'll let him out.
Okay. I think that was the biggest thing for me was just seeing Wake Forest finally able to run the football. Something like we said we hadn't been able to see. It was tight, I think it was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. And then Wake quickly took a 21-7 lead at half. And then after that, it was just, not their Florida State seemed to run out of time in this one, is what I would say. It couldn't have been more wrong about the weather. I think we predicted that it was going to be rainy and shitty. It was a beautiful day.
It was 85 and sunny.
Yeah. But I don't know. Sam Hartman looks like a future NFL guy. 234 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Didn't have to do much, like we said, because the running game was so good. I think in our prediction or preview of this game, whichever you want to call it, we were like, we'll take the under because the weather's going to be so bad. Wake Forest can't run the ball. We're not going to be able to throw it because they're going to be in the rain. And
we were completely wrong. Everything about this game that we talked about was just wrong.
Yep. So hopefully you guys faded us in this one. Florida State thought this was going to be like a program-defining win for Mike Norvell and the Seminoles. And I know we talked about it last week, but they've got a tough stretch of games coming up. I think they had 2 North Carolina and then NC State. I think that's who the next 2 are.
I think so.
I think that's what we said.
I think Clemson's in that mix somewhere.
It might be Clemson, then NC State. That might be what it is. But just tough. I don't know. Not much else to say. They, Seminoles shot themselves in the foot in this game. I think they had a season-high 11 penalties, and then they also fumbled, and that set up Wake Forest with a short field and ultimately resulted in a touchdown in the second quarter. Once you get down 21-7 and Wake Forest was able to run the ball the way they were, they just controlled that clock. I think the Demon Deacons put together touchdown drives of 80, 90, and 75 yards with a final 71-yard drive. When you have long drives like that, sustainable drives that result in points, it can really take the wind out of the sails of the other team. That's kind of what it seemed to do to Florida State. Yeah, I see right here. Florida State travels to number 10, North Carolina State next Wednesday. Wake Forest will host Army next Saturday. So,
and they'll roll them.
Yep. So that's all I got for this one. Sorry that we were so wrong on the weather. That's Casey's fault. He should have looked it up.
No, that was you. You're the one that said it was going to be bad, dude. You're the Florida guy, not me.
Are you good?
Just saying, you're the Florida guy. Number 10, this was a good game. Number 10, NC State play number 5, Clemson. Clemson wins 30-20. I have the scores backwards. They win 30-20.
Yep. Tight game. It was 13-10 at half.
I think you were getting mad at me.
Why?
During this game.
Why?
I think I texted you, go Clemson, and, you had NC State plus 3.5.
No, I had NC State plus 7.
Or whatever the spread was.
Yeah, plus 7. Just missed out on that one. One of my only 2 losses of the week was picking that game. Someone else can't say the same. DJ Ukulele played well.
I said I said Clemson was going to win, so obviously I picked this game right, bitch.
Okay.
Bitch.
DJ Ukulele played well as he has all
Ukulele?
season. Yeah, that's what I'm calling him from now on.
Dumbass.
That's what you want to
He played good. He played good.
Yeah. Clemson looked good. I mean, you want to talk a little bit about the Clemson walk? You love that shit.
Oh yeah, the game day actually played it and showed it. The players getting on the bus, driving down to the stadium, getting off the bus, touching the rock. I loved everything about that. I got chills watching that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great tradition. As soon as I saw that, I bet Clemson -7.
Yeah, he texted me. You're so fucked. Did you watch that? That was electric. I have chills. You are FUCK fucked. Or it was another text I think I got from you.
Yeah, I said you are FUCK fucked. Bitch.
Yeah.
Right, Todd?
I don't know. I think the takeaways from this game, North Carolina State, they have plenty of talent, but they did look a little rattled, maybe a little overmatched around halftime. They allowed Clemson to score 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I guess NC State's only hope is that the Tigers lose twice in their final 5 ACC games. Come on, dude. I don't see that happening. The Tigers, I don't know. They played well. They're 5-0. Do you think they're legit, or are they still on fraud alert?
I never put them on fraud alert.
Well, I think we both said that we didn't think they were very good.
Yeah, that doesn't mean they're on fraud alert, right?
I mean, so you think they're good or not?
I think they're good.
Okay.
They're good. They're good.
Clemson goes to Boston College next week, and as we mentioned, North Carolina plays number 23, Florida State at home next Saturday. Clemson will likely move to 6-0. I don't know. We'll see. They're still on the outside looking in as far as the college football playoffs concerned. I do think we talked about it with DJ Ukulele. He is a big guy.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 240.
Yeah, that's a massive guy in the pocket. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Ben Roethlisberger back in the day.
Yep.
He's just really hard to sack because he's so big and so strong. I don't know. Clemson looks a lot better. It seems like every week they play better and better. They're starting to find their groove a little bit. So I don't know. Keep an eye on Clemson. See if they can make their way into the top 4 in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, once Michigan loses to Ohio State, yeah.
That ain't happening. One last note. While Casey is taking Tucker outside, the Wolfpack's head coach, Dave Doran, I think that's how you pronounce his name, pretty much said that we lost the turnover margin, we lost the line of scrimmage, and you don't win many games like that. I think that's a fair assessment. It's crazy, too. Clemson hasn't lost at home since November 2016, which matched Florida State's ACC mark of 37 straight home games. The Tigers, 11 in a row since last season, is the longest current streak in the FBS. They're hard to beat at home. As we said, DJ Ukulele played well. I know that's not how you actually pronounce his name, but that's what we'll do. He completed 21 of 30 passes for 209 yards and ran for a team-high 73 yards, and he sealed the victory with a 9-yard scoring run, about 3 minutes to play to take a 31-13 lead. NC State did have a garbage time touchdown at the end of the game, but just not enough time left for them to get it done. So feel bad for NC State. Feels like they were going to finally, take control of what has been a really just lopsided rivalry between these two. They're 4-1. I don't know. We'll see what happens with them going forward. Casey's back. Let's move on to the next game. Is that the last college game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it for college football.
Yeah, you just kept on going without me, I guess.
Well, you don't have anything to say anyway.
Guess you just kept on going on. Just want to change the show name? Tyler Show?
Yep.
The little I'm a bitch show? Moving on.
Oh, it's crazy. Clemson moved to 12-6 against AP top 10 teams in the college football era. Huh.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
NFL Week 4.
Cue the music. All right, Casey, what's the first game on the slate? What?
Nothing.
Are you good?
Are you good?
Mitch?
The Miami Dolphins playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals win 27-15. The key thing about this game was Tua left, I think, in the second quarter on a stretcher.
I was going to say, this kind of took the league by storm. Everyone was talking about it. Obviously, you guys know, as we were recording on Thursday, that we talked about it then.
Yeah.
He did leave that night with the team. He flew home with the team. He sat with Coach Mike McDaniel. I think they both watched a movie. And the doctor that cleared Tua to play was that Sunday against the Bills. He got fired.
Yeah.
Right? They said after the NFLPA investigated, they found that he made several errors in his valuation of Tua. Sounds like Tua should have been in concussion protocol.
Yeah, and did they change, or they're trying to change the rule?
So the NFL and the NFLPA did agree on new concussion protocols or protocol rules, whatever you want to call it. And those could go into effect as early as week 5. And based on what I read, it sounds like anytime a player shows any type of instability, they're automatically ruled out for the rest of that game. And they're like, we'll evaluate it after that. So, like, obviously, for example, when Tua in the Buffalo game, like, I don't want to say collapsed, but he stumbled on the field and was obviously not okay, that automatically would have ruled him ineligible.
Yeah.
What I don't know is if that's the referee's job. I feels like that shouldn't be, because that's putting just a little bit too much pressure on the rest. My guess is that it'd be on the team to be like, hey, sorry, you showed instability, time to go. My only fear is that teams are going to be naturally selfish in that situation. If a player says he's good to go, they're like, oh, dude, he just tripped. He wasn't actually in stale. I don't know how all that's going to work. I think that's why they said could go into effect as early as week 5, but there's obviously some things they got.
There's a lot of gray area there.
They got to work some shit out there. Good win for the Bengals. They seem to be getting back on track. Joey Burr played well. T. Higgins went off.
T. Higgins did go off.
I saw something dating back to last year. Like, all the stats lined up against Chase, he's the more productive receiver on that team. He's got more receptions, more yards, and more touchdowns, which I think would surprise people because Chase was so electric last year. But it does seem like T. Higgins is the more reliable or sought-out weapon.
Everyone's eyes goes to the Chase, so it's probably best DB on Chase, so Higgins probably has that.
He could be getting doubled as well. That could be the best receiving core in the NFL.
Oh, I think it is.
With Higgins, Chase, and Boyd.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Right behind the Vikings.
No, absolutely not.
I'm speaking about the Vikings, unless you have any more about this game.
No, I was going to say, I don't think it says a lot. I mean, I think both teams are good. Obviously, with Tua going out, that hurts. I thought Teddy Bridgewater was left-handed until he got to pick that. You can't drop that.
I still can't believe you thought that.
I was certain he was left-handed.
You're an idiot.
Couldn't have been more wrong. Both teams, I think, are good. I think the Dolphins will be fine. We will keep an eye on. Obviously, I saw today that there is no timeline for Tua's return. I think the Dolphins kind of in the spotlight for not a good thing, and you can't rush Tua back. There's already too much heat around the fact that he was able to play. So we'll keep an eye on that going forward. Bengals get back on track.
I found it funny that they came out today and they were like, okay, guys, breaking news. Tua's ruled out for week 5.
Right. Like, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the sky is blue.
Right. And I'm a king. I mean, all true. Moving on, the Minnesota Vikings playing the New Orleans Saints in London. This was a phenomenal game. Vikings win 28-25. Justin Jefferson balled out.
He's the best receiver in football.
Oh, my God. I was watching that game, and he was just going at Marcus Lattimore.
Yep. He had no fear.
Nope, and it was one of those that they were both jaw-jacking, talking shit to each other.
Yep.
And it didn't faze Jefferson at all.
Even though he had 3 drops on the day, he still had 10 catches for 147 yards. And, I don't know, to me, this is a big stat. 5 first downs.
That's
when
amazing.
you are the receiver that your quarterback is looking to move the chains and to be able to come up with those, not only does it build, a lot of rapport between Cousins and Jefferson, which, I mean, we know they already have it, but it builds confidence from other players on the team, knowing, we got this. We got this. JJ's going to get us. You know what I mean? Just a really good game. I think the bigger story in this game, though, is fuck Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, no, fuck Alvin Kamara. He's definitely
inching.
He's probably almost on that never draft, never fantasy list again. If I ever play fantasy again after this year, we will see, because that is all up in the air right now.
There was a stat I saw that amongst CBS and Yahoo leagues, he started in 65% of them, because when it's that early game, I thought I was being responsible. I set my alarm at 10 a.m., after getting pretty drunk the night before, and I just forgot that the game started at 9:30, and so it was just too late. He was just playing in that game. That sucked for me, Kamara not playing, but I know I wasn't the only one, obviously, that got caught with that. So I don't know. Vikings are good. I think we knew that. They've been a little inconsistent, but they're pretty good. I think the bigger surprise here, Andy Dalton. What the hell?
He played good. He went 20 of 28, 236 yards, TD, and no interceptions. And another one, Chris Olave.
Yeah.
Having a hell of a rookie year.
Yep. He had 4 catches, 67 yards, also added a touchdown. Do you think if Dalton continues to play well in the absence of Winston, that this could add some controversy down there in New Orleans?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think Jameis has played well enough to just be like, yep, it's his job.
Right.
So, I don't know. Another thing to keep an eye on. Great way to start the NFL Sunday, though. 28-25. What a game.
At the very, very end. And it actually, so the Saints had a chance to tie it, and it was Will Lutz, I think is their kicker.
Lutz, yeah, double doink.
Had enough leg.
For sure had enough leg.
Had a lot of leg. Hit the right, hit the left upright, bounced down, hit the bottom bar, and then bounced back into the field of play. Lions lose, or
hold on. Go ahead. Sorry.
Vikings win 28-25.
It's just a great way to start NFL Sunday.
It was.
Moving on to the next game, Cleveland Browns heading to the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons sneak one out. They win 23-20.
This was a good game.
This was another good game. So last year, the Falcons were 7-2 in one-possession games. And I know that's not necessarily a recipe for success in the NFL. But after moving to 2-2 on the year, two-game winning streak, continuing their trend of winning one-possession games into this season, I think the Falcons are surprising some people. What do you think?
Oh, no, they are definitely surprising me. I never thought that they were going to be this good. I thought they were going to probably get their first win around this week, possibly.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the Falcons in this one. balance, man. Very balanced offense. And honestly, their defense dialed up some really aggressive play calls, but they were at the right time. They weren't trying to do too much. This was a fun one. Atlanta is a young team. They seem to be figuring some things out after a rocky start to the season, and the Falcons might have a legit run game. Cordell Patterson entered Sunday questionable with a knee injury, but you know what isn't questionable, Casey? The Falcons' ability to run the football with or without him. Atlanta's backup running backs were efficient and effective on Sunday. Rookie Tyler Algier, he rushed for 84 yards. They had a practice squad call-up. Caleb Huntley, he ran for 56. And then a converted cornerback, Avery Williams, also contributed with a 21-yard run. They're all different types of backs, and they combined for the Falcons' second 200 rushing yard performance in 4 games. Their next game is at the Bucs. Bucs are struggling right now. Could see the Falcons maybe inch one out next week, but they were good. Mariota played well.
Mariota's been playing really good all year.
Yeah.
He's been playing really, really good. And one thing about Cordell Patterson, I saw something on the ESPN tracker. Right? He got put on IR, expecting to possibly come back like first week in November.
Okay. Blown coverages killed the Bucs in this one.
Browns, you mean?
Browns, sorry. Yep, Browns. Don't need to start that again. Jesus.
We're going down this path.
Nope.
How much you want to bet? Okay, over under 1.5 of times you say Bucs.
Nope, not happening. Blown coverages killed the Browns in a week 2 loss against the Jets. And again, plays like this drive fans nuts, but they have to drive players nuts as well. Key fourth quarter miscue, cost the Browns on Sunday with 3 minutes left to play in the game. The game was tied. Falcons were at their own 9-yard line. Falcons wide receiver was just wide open across the middle of the field. Scampers for 42 yards. And then a face mask penalty against Denzel Ward pretty much put Atlanta in field goal range for the game winner. Can't have plays like that at the end of the game. I always hate to say, especially in football, that one play decides a game, but in this one it did. That one play with 3 minutes left, can't let a guy be that wide open. You can't have a blown coverage like that, especially like that late in the game. Just was, interesting. The Cleveland was missing a lot of their defense up front. Myles Garrett didn't play after his car crash. Also, Jadeveon Clowney didn't play, but they both should be back soon. I was looking at Cleveland's schedule going forward. They got to have one of the toughest remaining schedules in the league. Not looking great for Cleveland after moving to 2-2. They got the Chargers next week. I don't know. Feels like with how tough their schedule is going forward, could be. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. When do they get Watson back? Week 11.
I think it's 11.
Yeah,
11 or 12, something like that. The Washington Commanders played the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys win 25-10. This was a decent game, I think, until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Then Dallas started to pull away. Cooper Rush becomes the first Cowboy QB to win his first 4 career starts.
Yeah.
That was a surprising stat to me when I saw that.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a clickbait. Then actually when I saw it come up on ESPN, that was my official thing. Like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah. It seems like a hard thing to believe with how good some of those Cowboys teams were back in the day. But yeah, he moves to 4-0 as a starter in the NFL. Claps to Cooper Rush, man. Way to step up when the team needs you. Fire up, Chips.
Fire up, Chips. Fire up, Chips.
Cowboys defense is legit. For the first time since 1973, the defense has not allowed 20 points in any of their first 4 games. They've allowed just 1 touchdown in each of their first 4 games. They sacked Wentz twice, intercepted him twice, and pretty much otherwise harassed him all game long. One of the excerpts I was reading about this game was like the offensive line has been so bad for the Commanders that it's just forcing Wentz to rush because he's got so much pressure on him. And when you have to rush, accuracy problems arise. And that's been a problem all year. Yeah, I don't know what to say. We mentioned this a second ago. So they're going to be a legit QB competition when Dak comes back. Cooper Rush continued to play well, definitely well enough to win. I don't know why you hurry or rush Dak's return. I saw that he had a stitch removed on September 26th. So will just a couple practices be enough for him to play next week versus the Rams? I think you just...
Yeah, I think he has a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I think that when I was listening to Sports Center right before the show, that's what they said, is that he has a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Then he can possibly start practicing this week.
Okay.
And all that. I mean, I don't think maybe this Sunday, but next Sunday. But at this point, okay, if the Cowboys win, and who are they playing next?
The Cowboys have the Rams next week. Yep.
Okay, I mean, it'll be a tough one, but still, okay. Even if Cooper Rush loses, he's still 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
What? Unless he has a horrible game, I would still roll with the guy.
I think it's
one looks good with him.
I think it's one of those things that obviously, they're winning the division. I don't know, they're tied for the division. Or no, they're not. Because the Eagles are the only undefeated team, right?
Yep.
Okay, so they're doing enough to where I think it'd be more detrimental to them to rush Dak back and then have it get re-aggravated. Just let it roll with Cooper, and when Dak's ready to come back, he'll come back. Few notes on Washington. This team fucking stinks.
Yeah, they suck. I see something here. That they had an average of 3.6 yards per play for passing.
Yes,
that's great.
Yeah, I feel like the Commanders should be in a much better spot in year 3 of Ron Rivera. What do you think?
No, I agree.
Just like I think Rivera's a legit coach, but like penalties just continue to kill them. They had 11 penalties for 136 yards on Sunday, and 2 of those penalties wiped out interceptions. So there was interceptions on both plays that ended up not counting. And after scoring 28 points in week 1 and Wentz throwing 4 touchdowns in this game, the offense in the passing game has been pretty much all bad. Like you said, they averaged 3.6 pass yards per play. Yeah, a lot to be concerned about with the Commanders. Next week they take on the Titans. Probably not going to be favored in that game either.
Most likely not.
So,
moving on, the Tennessee Titans played the Indianapolis Colts. Titans win 24-17.
Yep.
I was about to say 27-14. But 24-17. This was I didn't see this game come up a lot in red zone, so.
Yeah. Henry gained 99 yards in the first half alone. Finally got back on track. Felt like Tennessee got the running game back where they want it to be. It's the 5th time in the last 7 games that Henry rushed for 100 or more yards just against the Colts. The Colts prior to this, their defense allowed a league best only 2.6 yards per carry, and then Henry just ran all over them for 114 on 22 carries. Again, though, Titans almost had another second half collapse. Listen to this stat. So far this year, the Titans have been outscored 64-7 in the second half. That's fucking horrible.
That is horrible.
And they got outscored 7-0 in the second half. So they got up, so they would have been up, 24-10 at one point, and then just don't put any other points on the board. They got to figure that out. They need to find a way to produce in the second half, or they're going to be in trouble. You know what I mean? I think when they start 0-2, got to start putting teams away when they have the chance. Teams are too good in the NFL for you just to disappear for an entire half.
Yeah. You're going to get beat a lot.
Yeah. So their next game is against the Commanders. Thought this was interesting. The Colts fall to 0-2-1 in the AFC South after their 3rd divisional game in 4 weeks. It's already a long way uphill for the Colts, who are looking to claim their first AFC South title since 2014. Colts have now lost games to the Jags, the Titans, and tied the Texans. And then they face the Jags and Titans again in the next 3 weeks. So they're getting a lot of their divisional games out early this year. This Colts just way too inconsistent on both sides of the ball right now, especially on offense. They committed 3 costly turnovers. And I don't know, man. If I'm a Colts fan or a fantasy owner of Jonathan Taylor, I'm pretty worried about the Colts running game right now. Last year, We know that, Jonathan Taylor led the league in rushing in 2021, but he was bottled up against Tennessee. He finished with just 42 yards and 20 carries.
It's great.
Not going to get it done.
That is great. Great quarterback or great running back right there.
It also feels like, do you remember that the year Matt Ryan led the Falcons to the Super Bowl? Wasn't their running back Devontae Freeman?
Yeah. Wait. What team?
With the Falcons when they played.
Devontae Freeman.
So it feels like Matt Ryan really thrives in a play action type of offense. I think that's why everyone thought it was going to work so well here, because they were going to be able to hand it off to Jonathan Taylor and then take advantage of some big plays down the field. Not working out. So a lot for the Colts to figure out, man. Their offensive line's been horrible, and they can't run the football. That's their bread and butter. Got to get that figured out. Their next game is the Broncos on Thursday Night Football.
They should win that. Should. Keyword there.
Yeah.
How many games more do we have? Oh, shit.
You need to take a quick break?
No. Okay. Chicago Bears play the New York Football Giants.
Not much to say here.
Giants win 20-12. Let's just say Justin Fields sucks. I saw a stat that he has more rushing attempts than passing attempts or completions.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he has 34 rushing attempts and he has 34 passing completions.
Yeah, not good. Saquon had a great game, 31 carries and we're out to 146 yards on the ground. Saquon looks like Saquon's back.
Yeah, no, he looked good.
Other than that, I didn't catch much of this game except for the fact that, I was talking with a guy that's a massive Bears fan. And I said, "Hey, I got your Bears this week. I think they're gonna win. I think they were 2.5-point dogs." And he goes, "It's really hard to go on the Meadowlands and win, man." And the Giants did just enough. I think behind that run game, it takes a lot of pressure off Daniel Jones. He can become more of like a game manager than a guy that needs to play from behind all the time. So healthy Saquon, always good news for the Giants. Yeah, the Bears suck. We know this.
But yeah, the Bears do suck.
Next game, Jacksonville Jaguars heading to the Philadelphia Eagles. As expected, I think we both thought this game was going to be good. This ain't the same old Jacksonville team we're used to. Eagles win 29-21, and the Eagles move the only undefeated team left in the NFL.
Yeah, and the other thing is I'm pretty sure Jacksonville went up 14-0 early.
Yeah.
And then Eagles came back and won.
Yeah. Eagles have shown they can win ugly, and they can win in blowouts. Hurts didn't play the best. He was 16 of 25 for 204 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. Poor weather conditions. Shout out to Hurricane Ian. Set up some weather down the East Coast, and they got the worst of it there. Well, not the worst of it. That was poorly worded. They had poor weather as for passing the football is concerned. I think the story of this game was the Eagles' defense and run game. Eagles dominated. They generated 5 takeaways, and then Philly also rushed for 200 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's defense was holding teams to a league-low 55 yards per game before this game. They weren't able to do anything to stop the run on Sunday. Eagles, thus far, man, they've proved they can win in shootouts and they can win in slop fests. Looks good.
They've looked good all year. Like, really, really good.
They had quite a few injuries happen in the game, though. Darius Slay left with a forearm issue. Tackle Jordan Mailata left with a shoulder issue. Guard Isaac Sumulo left with an ankle issue. And linebackers Patrick Johnson head injury, Kyron Johnson head injury all left the game for the Eagles, and they were already without a cornerback and backup running back Boston Scott. So just multiple injuries to monitor for next week's Eagles game heading to Arizona. I think we can both agree that the Jags are definitely an improved team under Doug Peterson, but I don't know if any team can really be good enough to overcome 5 turnovers.
Oh, no, not at all.
5 turnovers on Sunday after committing just 1 turnover over their first 3 games. And those 5 turnovers resulted in 22 points for the Eagles. That just, you're not going to win games that way. Lawrence was the reigning AFC Offensive Player of the Week. He had the worst game of his young season. He lost 4 fumbles through 1 interception. Got to take care of the football if you're Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars going forward. Otherwise, to only lose by, 8 points after 5 takeaways is pretty solid. I think Jacksonville's going to give teams a fit all year. And next week they head to Houston to play the Texans. Or no, they might be at home. Yeah, versus the Texans. Yeah, they're at home next week. So hopefully the defense can get back on track. It's going to be hard to win. 5 turnovers and allowing 200 yards on the ground. So,
moving on, the New York Jets play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jets win 24-20. Kenny Pickett came into this game, and he is 13 of 13 in the NFL.
Really?
He is 10 of 10 to Steelers, and he is 3 of 3 to New York Jets.
Just no incompletions, just a couple to the wrong team.
The ball has not touched the ground every time Kenny Pickett has.
I think he ran for a score too, didn't he?
2.
He ran for 2
TDs.
touchdowns. Yeah. The offensive spotlight I have in this game is Zach Wilson returned from his knee injury, played well enough to win. I do have a stat here. Most of his issues came when pressured. With pressure, Wilson was only 2 for 12 for 38 yards and 2 picks. From a clean pocket, he averaged 8.6 yards per attempt with a 107.8 passer rating. Maintaining a clean pocket will continue to be a difficult task for a New York offensive line dealing with multiple injuries, but it's the key for Wilson going forward. Clearly under pressure. Looks a little bit like Baker Mayfield can't get it done. Ugly game.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield sucks under pressure too, so I say he reminds me of Baker.
Oh.
Yeah, Wilson reminds me of Baker because under pressure, he's ass. Don't try to fucking call me out like that.
No, you that was a great recovery.
No,
because if you listen to the tape, you didn't say it like that, but okay.
I said it reminds me a little bit of Baker Mayfield sucks under pressure. Regardless, kind of an ugly, sloppy game. Kenny Pickett's the guy going forward.
Yeah, he's 13 of 13 in the NFL.
Yeah, I think both teams got to take care of the ball. If they want their seasons to turn, scared me. I jumped. If they want their seasons to turn around, but yeah, not much to say here.
Tucker, are you serious? I just bought that for you. You have anything else to say about this game?
Nope, nothing else to say here.
Moving on. Sorry, I thought you were going to talk.
I thought you were going to talk.
The Buffalo Bills play the Baltimore Ravens. Bills win in a close one, 23-20. This was a good game. This was on a lot during Red Zone.
It was probably the 2 best teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
I know the Ravens' record isn't what they'd like to be, but the Bills bounced back after going down 17 points on the road in the second quarter. This is tough. This is the second time this year Baltimore's lost at home after leading by 17 or more points. They had a 20-3 lead late in the second quarter, and then the Bills went on to score 20 straight points. Baltimore becomes the first team in 8 years to lose multiple games at home when leading by 17 or more points. Lamar and that offense just disappeared in the second half. I don't know. Good for your Josh Allen. Good for the Bills. It's good for claps. We mentioned in the recap or the preview episode, that we thought this would kind of give a leg up to either Lamar or Allen in the MVP race.
Definitely gave it to Allen.
Yeah. Let's see here. Safety for the Bills. Big game. 2 picks in the fourth quarter to kind of seal it. The Bills have to find a way to run the ball more consistently, though. Coming into the game on Sunday, the Bills were the worst in the league at run block win rate at 62.2%. And outside of Josh Allen, they've really struggled to get the run game going. Again, Allen led the team with 70 rush yards. And at halftime, the Bills only had 34 yards rushing. So they only had 55 yards combined from their running backs on the ground. Got to be better. Some interesting things happened in this game. John Harbaugh elected to try to go for a touchdown on 4th down instead of kicking what would have been the go-ahead field goal. They were only on Buffalo's 2-yard line.
I like the play call.
It resulted in a Lamar Jackson interception, which kept the game tied at 20. 4 minutes left. Bills ultimately drove down to kick the game-winning call. You like the call?
I like the going for it, and I like the play. It's one of those things that if you're Lamar Jackson in that situation, don't try to force a pass. Throw them in the back of the end zone and make Josh Allen drive the ball
98 yards. Yeah.
But like I said, you threw the ball into the end zone until I think there was 4 Bill guys around there. Got picked off. Now you're giving the ball on the 20 to 25. I don't know which one it is.
I think it's the 20. 25.
Because I know kickoff's 25. I don't know if the interception's the same.
Yeah.
We'll just say 25. That's a 23-yard difference right there.
Yeah.
So if you would just say, screw it, okay, I'm not going to complete a pass, I'm not going to become a hero, throw the ball over their heads, make sure no one can fucking touch the ball.
Yeah.
And then make Josh Allen drive the ball 98 yards. If you get lucky, you get a safety.
Yeah, I feel like that was definitely. I feel like the Ravens knew they were going to go for it regardless. I think they probably told Lamar we're in 4-down territory. We're not going to risk it. I think Josh, and that's a lot of you give a lot of credit there to Josh Allen and the Bills because basically they've been like we don't want. They want to give them an opportunity to go down and score a touchdown because I think Josh Allen has shown no problem driving down late in the fourth quarter. He's got ice in his veins. Another thing that happened, this is like the second week in a row we've seen players get into it with coaches on the sideline. It was that guy from the Jets getting into it with his coach. In this game, Ravens cornerback Marcus Peters had to be pulled away from yelling at Coach Harbaugh before the winning kick. He threw his helmet down on the ground, etc. It's kind of odd. You don't typically see the head coach getting involved. Usually it's a coordinator that gets into it because they deal with the personnel groups. Or like you'll see the running back coach get into it with a player because like Deuce Staley getting after Swift. We saw that on Hard Knocks a little bit because that's directly their position group that they're relevant. I don't know. I tried to find it. They were pretty sheepish about it in the post-game presser. Harbaugh, I think, said something to the effect of like he's just a competitive guy. Like we're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy look. I don't know what he was so upset about.
Yeah, neither do I. When I was watching Red Zone, and all of a sudden they were like, Marcus Peters slams his helmet on the ground.
Yeah, I have no idea because it's like, dude, it's your fault. You're the one that they went down and drove. You should have picked Allen off or something. Why are you yelling at Harbaugh?
Right.
The Harbaughs are just great people.
John is, not Jim.
Okay.
But the Ravens are playing the Cincinnati Bengals next, and the Bengals are on 10 days rest. So
that should be a good game.
Be a really
division
good
game, right? Rivalry?
Yes.
Fire.
Yes.
Yeah. Moving on. You got to get your energy up, dude.
Dude, it's been a day.
I know.
Where are we? Oh, sorry, I got this mixed up. The Los Angeles Chargers played the Houston Texans. Chargers win 34-24. I really have nothing much to say about this game, honestly.
Chargers escape with a win. And I think another thing that makes this a double win is they didn't have any more players get injured in this game.
Hey, Eckler scored a touchdown.
Yep. Claps for Eckler.
Even though fuck fantasy right now.
Offensive line played better, even with rookie left tackle Jamari Salyer stepping in and making his first career start. It looked like Herbert had a lot more time in the pocket. It's still hard to gauge where the Chargers really are. Obviously, we mentioned last show, but they lost left tackle Rashawn Slater for the year. Joey Bosa's on the injured reserve indefinitely, and they played 3 games without Keenan Allen. A lot of people thought heading into this year, at least on paper, they had a Super Bowl caliber roster. To me, it's just unclear what type of team this Chargers team is, and whether or not what this Chargers roster will actually materialize into. It's a good win. It's a win that they should have had. Texans trailed 27-7 at half. Davis Mills attempted to lead a comeback. He brought Houston within 3 with 8 minutes left to play. But I don't know. Feels like another team. Like kind of reminds me of the Jags. Texans might not be a team you want to play late in the year.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
They could ruin some seasons for some people. Houston
always play you tight.
Yeah, and just competitive. Lovie Smith, good coach. The secondary has been solid all year for the Texans. They came into the game with the second best pass completion percentage, like only allowing 55% passes be completed against them, and they were fourth in sacks, but the defense didn't bail them out this time. Just tough when you trail 27-7 at half to kind of come back from that. I'm assuming, I didn't get to watch a lot of this game, but I'm assuming Chargers milked the clock. Go ahead but the Chargers only scored one more touchdown the rest of the game, so it sounds like they probably just try to control the clock, go from there. But nothing else to say here. I think the biggest takeaway for me is just I don't really know what the Chargers are. I think I have a good read on the Texans, but I think all right.
Yeah, the next game is Cardinals Win 26-26.
Oh, it's 26-16.
So I was close.
Yeah, 26-16,
Okay.
right?
Yep, 26-16.
I think you just probably hit the wrong button.
Probably.
Okay.
Oh, my God, that scared me for a second.
Yeah. So Cardinals win against the Panthers 26-16. We were
It looked like they dominated almost that entire game, it felt like.
Dude, when the Cardinals are humming on offense, they're going to be a tough team to beat. It's all about tempo and rhythm for them. And go ahead.
Did you hear about J.J. Watt?
No, go ahead.
About how last week he had his heart shocked back in the rhythm? What does that mean? He had to go in. And you know how like they and shock you back to life?
Oh, yeah, like an irregular heartbeat.
Yeah, and they shocked his heart back to a regular heartbeat.
Really?
Yeah, and he played Sunday.
Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if he had like a murmur or something. Zach Ertz doesn't age. He brings a lot of stability to a shaking receiving core to start the year. What? Hollywood Brown continues to find his stride in Arizona, but the last few weeks have made the trade look like a massive W for the Cardinals. Was it on draft night that they got Hollywood Brown? Or was it before then?
I think it was before then.
Like right around that time?
Right around that.
He had a good game. I think pretty sure he had a touchdown in this game. The problem is the Cardinals, if they just started really slow all year, this was another slow start, fast finish for the Cardinals. And, dude, that's just not going to be sustainable.
Yeah, I don't think they score in the first quarter.
Yeah, and that's not going to be sustainable for them. And they play a team like the Eagles, who they play next week. They're going to take advantage of that. You can't get down in these games, especially in NFL, and just say, "Oh, we'll just turn it on now." You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't do that against a good team.
It's just
smoked.
Yep. Panthers defense continues to be good enough to win, but Baker might suck, dude. I'm
a huge Baker guy, but I'm just gonna say. Baker sucks. I'm off the bandwagon. He is a bad NFL quarterback.
He had 5 passes batted down at the line of scrimmage, and that raises his NFL lead to 11 passes batted down at the line of scrimmage this year. He threw 2 interceptions and lost a fumble. It's the 10th time since he came into the league in 2018. They said 3 or more turnovers in a game. No quarterback has more. And I mentioned this a few games ago. Teams know that Baker sucks against the blitz. He sucks against pressure. And I said this in our preview. I was right about this one. I was right about a lot of games this week. I'm starting to find my stride. The Cardinals love the blitz. They're a blitz happy team on defense. And man, do they get after Baker. They continue to bring. I think the Panthers they face the highest blitz rate in the league because teams know that Baker sucks. So like 35% of the time teams are blitzing against the Panthers. That's tough. And Baker's just not responding in a way which a good quarterback would. And that's why the Panthers are 1-3. I got a question for you though. If they get down, I think Sam Darnold's finally back. He's finally off injured reserve.
Okay.
If they struggle early next week against the 49ers, do we see Sam Darnold in the game?
Yes.
I kind of agree with you. Like I said, he had an ankle injury, but he's set to reserve for the injured reserve this week. I don't know. To me, it's just like Baker's the 32nd ranked quarterback in the NFL in QBR, total QBR. Did nothing to improve that this week. And I think last year I was reading that Darnold showed some promise in that offense last year when Christian McCaffrey was healthy. He's healthy this year, and I just wonder if Darnold's more like game management style would fit better with this offense right now. I also saw, did you see what DJ Moore had to say about Baker?
No.
So he was asked, basically, Baker said, look, he's not getting open. And DJ Moore just kind of laughed and was like, dude, it's the NFL. Half a yard's open, 1 yard's open. It just depends on how the quarterback sees it. It's just kind of tough because I was listening to a podcast. I was kind of talking. It's a fantasy podcast. And they were like, oh, what a pick. DJ Moore was like a top 10 fantasy receiver with Sam Darnold, and you would only think that would get better with Baker, but Baker just has a bad track record of killing people's fantasies, like as receivers and stuff. Like OBJ just totally went down, and everyone's like, oh, it's not Baker's fault, it's OBJ's fault. Well, then OBJ goes to the Rams and plays well. He comes to the Panthers. Now DJ Moore is just not even
Baker's fault.
Yep. So I do like Baker as a player or as a person. He just might not be very good.
Yep.
Next game, good game.
Really good game.
Really good game, dude.
New England Patriots.
Good game.
Played the Green Bay Packers. Packers win 27-24 in OT, and this game came down to the very, very end. Like it almost ended in a tie.
Yeah, valiant effort. Just Aaron Rodgers gets it done in overtime, despite kind of an ugly ending to the regulation, and then they failed to score on the first possession in overtime. I'm pretty sure. But this is the problem. Aaron Rodgers is too good. You can't give him two chances to go win the game in overtime. I just knew when he had that second opportunity, I was like, there's no way they don't win the game right here.
Right.
And Packers receiving core stepped up in overtime. Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard, the two vets over there, both caught some first downs. And rookie Romeo Doubs added
played good.
A few big catches that ultimately set up a 31-yard Mason Crosby game-winning field goal. Packers moved to 3-1, and it's looking like a 6-1 start for the Packers is incoming. They got the Giants, Jets, and Commanders up next. I
would think that they're going to win all of them.
6-1. Rashawn Gary looking great for the Packers. Came out of Michigan, a New Jersey kid. He had 2 sacks against New England, 5 sacks in 4 games. He's the first Packers player to record a sack in each of his first 4 games since 2010. Patriots, valiant effort.
Where did Rodgers go to college?
Cal.
Okay, since you wanted to bring up Rashawn Gary.
He's a Michigan guy.
Where did that one Romeo Doubs go to college?
Nevada.
Okay. Where did Mason Crosby go to college?
No idea.
Okay, can you bring all of them up when you bring up their names too?
Patriots, valiant effort.
They played good.
We said on the show, I don't know that we said the Pats could win, but 10.5 points is too much to give like Belichick. As we said earlier, Casey drew this out nice for us. Good teams cover, good teams win, great teams cover. Pats really had no business being in this game. They were at one point down to their third string and rookie QB after just 2 series in a tough road environment. Do you think Bailey Zappi from Western Kentucky played well enough to take the backup spot from Brian Hoyer?
Yeah.
4th-round pick. He finished 10 of 15 for 99 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. He fumbled on one of them.
Played good. He looked good.
He looked poised. It didn't look like the moment was too big for him.
That pass to Devontae Parker, I think it was to give
that
him
was
the
a
lead.
dime.
That was a great pass. He had a lot of time in the world. Just threw the ball right to Devontae Parker.
It was also
easy TD.
You see a lot especially with young quarterbacks in the NFL, they get happy feet in the pocket, and they try to get out and they panic. And he didn't look panicked at all. Nope. And he didn't come across to me as a check down Charlie either. He took some shots. I thought the play calling was more conservative than it should have been. They should have let him loose a little bit, especially if you're the Pats, you got nothing to lose, right? You're not supposed to win the game anyway. Take some shots. It feels like they played more not to lose the game than to win the game. Patriots next game is against.
That's twice I stripped him. Twice in a nap.
Shut up, bitch.
That's so disrespectful.
Sorry here. My bad. I love this hat, by the way. My bad. That was fucked up.
That was really fucked up.
I'll edit a hat on to you when I knock that off.
No, it's fine. Just when you do that, just put asshole right above you.
Okay, deal. Patriots move next game versus the Lions. I do want to talk about that for a little bit, and we can get into more of it.
We'll get into that when we talk about the Lions.
Okay, let's do that. Just don't forget.
There's going to be a ton. Well, don't you have the play at Pats? We'll
Yeah,
remember to talk about
it's a pretty
that.
personal game for the Lions.
Yes, it is.
Anything else to say?
Nope. Moving on to the next game.
All right,
the
dude,
Denver
fine.
Broncos playing the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders get their first win of the year, winning 32-23. Broncos are frauds, like I said, week 2 of the year.
This whenever scores are like that, where it's like reverse 3-2 and then 2-3, it always messes with my brain. Like
I think one of these games was a scorigami this year. I don't know if it was this game or the Lions game.
It was the Lions game. Lions game was a scorigami.
There's never been a 48-45 game.
I don't. I mean, I'm sure there has, but aren't scorigami just like really, really rare?
No, like they never happened.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Love scorigamis though.
So do I.
You would think that the 11-10 game the Broncos played last week would have been a scorigami. Claps are in order for Josh McDaniel, who earned his first win as the head coach of the Raiders.
And first win since a while.
Yeah, previously he had lost 15 of his past 20 games as head coach. He gets his first win against the team that fired him more than a decade ago. Next, hold on, I gotta take a drink of water. If you want to read through some of these notes. Oh, next week they play Kansas City. God,
I don't even know where the fuck you're at. Oh yeah, next week they play the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm pretty sure that is Monday Night Football. Then they have a bye week. Then they're strong. Then they're straight, and then their schedule
really
lightens
lightens up. Yeah, so it should get easier for my Super Bowl hopeful Raiders. I don't know. Casey's model has them out.
They're out of the playoffs already. They started 0-2.
But I hope, the Raiders can take some positive momentum against KC, like you said on Monday night. Broncos defense did look better in this game. I don't know. I think the Broncos are ass. Even with the comeback attempt against the Raiders on Sunday, they won't be back in playoff contention until they can win some of these AFC games or West games on the road. And it gets even worse for the Broncos as they lose their starting running back, Javonte Williams, to an ACL.
Yeah, he's out for the year.
Yep.
Out for the year.
I don't know how they're going to run the ball going forward. And so much of their, even though it's struggling offense, centers around the run game. Nathaniel Hackett's kind of, bread and butter. What he was thought to really bring in for the Broncos this year was a really good play action passing game. He was hoping that could be a part of some big play opportunities, as Russell Wilson historically has been the best deep ball thrower in the league. And now they have to go forward with Melvin Gordon.
Who's a fumbling machine.
4 times in 4 games, right?
Yep.
And they've lost 2 of them, including one that the Raiders returned for 68-yard touchdown Sunday. Did you see that fat guy effort?
Yep.
That tackle for the Broncos chased that guy down the whole way, and then at the end,
great effort.
he just dove at the end. He had no chance of catching that guy. He was like, fuck it, it'll look good on tape.
That was a coach tells you need to put a little more effort into the game, and then you tell him, be like, hey, coach, did you see that?
Yeah, you'd be like, see that? So look for Mike Boone to try and step in. He has been the change of pace option for the Broncos this year, but no disrespect to Mike Boone. He's just not Javonte Williams. So if you're a fantasy guy, you need a handcuff, I'd probably go get Mike Boone, especially if Gordon continues to fumble. They will not ride with him. It's just costing them too much. And their next game will be against the Colts on Thursday night. Denver sucks, man. Nathaniel Hackett.
They suck. They're the worst team in football right now.
Nathaniel Hackett looks like he just overwhelmed as a head coach, still making questionable calls, questionable decisions. I really thought the Broncos were going to be competitive this year, and they're just not.
They're not. I thought they were going to be a really good team, but they just suck.
Yep.
Ow, fuck, man.
Wrist bothering you?
Yeah, my thumb just, every time I just move it, it's like popping out of place.
Surgery coming up.
Moving on, Kansas City Chiefs play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chiefs win 41-31. This was a pretty fucking good game on Sunday night.
Yeah, so I thought this was pretty interesting. So the Chiefs' offense looks just fine without Tyreek Hill. The only difference is their offense or production is just coming from a different place. It's not necessarily the wide receivers this year. All 5 of the Chiefs' touchdowns were scored by tight ends or running backs in this game, including 3 passing touchdowns by Mahomes. Mahomes has 9 passing touchdowns this year to tight ends or running backs, and that's 4 more than any other quarterback. So defense played well. They only allowed 2 plays of more than 20 yards. Pretty much forced Tampa Bay and Tom Brady to go on long, really time-consuming drives to get their points. I'd say the biggest play of this game was L'Jarius Sneed Great name, Legarius. Love that name. He had a sack and strip of Brady in the second quarter. I think that was the biggest play of the game. It resulted in a touchdown and a 28-10 lead that just ultimately was too much for the Bucs to overcome. Chiefs' next game, as we mentioned, is against the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Tampa Bay started slow, man. I think they were down 21-3 at one point in the second quarter, and then down again 38-17 in the third quarter. Turnovers. Chiefs scored 14 points off two fumbles in the first half. Rookie Rashad White fumbled on the opening kickoff, and then the aforementioned strip sack of Brady.
I totally missed that and didn't see what happened.
You're like, oh, how are they already up? Yeah.
No, it was one of those things that I saw the Chiefs kick off, and then all of a sudden I look away. I think I let Tucker outside, and I come back. And then Chiefs were kicking off again. I'm like, whoa.
Right.
What the hell happened? The Bucs got the ball at the beginning, I thought. And it's like, it's not even a minute into the game.
Yeah.
So I went back, looked at my phone. I was like, oh, they fumbled the kickoff. Then they ran 2 plays and scored a tutty.
So I will say this, one bright spot for the Bucs. Their offense did find some rhythm near the end zone. Mike Evans caught 2 touchdowns after returning from his 1-game suspension. And I will say this, their 2-2 start comes against teams that have finished a combined 46-22 last season. So they have played some good teams to start the year. I will give them that. And this is the 7th time in Tom Brady's career that he starts 2-2. That happened in 2003, 2005, 2012, 14, 17, 18. 4 of those years did result in a trip to the Super Bowl, 03, 14, 17, and 18. So this part of the Bucs schedule was likely the hardest. Their remaining opponents are combined 18-24, and the next they still have to play division rivals Carolina and Atlanta twice this year. So hopefully the schedule gets a little bit easier for the Bucs and Tom Brady going forward. I think Brady is showing his age a little bit, though.
No, he is. He definitely is. He's been showing it all year. Is this his last year, you think?
Yes. Yeah, he's done. All that off-season turmoil with his wife and everything, I think it's just taken a toll. And if I were the Bucs, I'd be probably ready to move on too. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't leverage the future of your franchise on a 46-year-old quarterback coming back. That's just nuts. And I think the Bucs will be good for years to come if they can replace that quarterback position because they've got talent on both sides of the ball. The Bucs' next game will be against the Falcons. So we'll talk about that on Thursday. All right, guys, we're going to do a little live reaction here, something different. We're going to talk about this Monday Night Football game we're watching right now. There's a minute, 20-something, a minute and change left.
Pretty much by the time it's the LA Rams against the San Francisco 49ers. Game is in San Fran.
Yep.
49ers are up 24-9 right now with about a minute left.
Rams have no timeouts.
By the time the 49ers they're going to be punting the ball back to the Rams. It'll be about, what time is that? About 55 seconds? 54? 54 seconds left. They're punting the ball back. Rams are down, what is that, 15?
Yep.
So I'm just going to say 49ers win 24-9 in this one. Looks like, from what I have, because I've been looking over it every once in a while, and they've been just dominating.
Yeah, 49ers dominated this game. Garoppolo bounced back game after that ugly loss against the Broncos. He was 16-27 on the night, 239 yards and a touchdown, assuming that he doesn't take the field again, which doesn't look like he's going to.
Most likely he won't.
Jeffrey Wilson Jr., shout out to him, scored a touchdown in this one. Needed that for a fantasy win this week. He had 13 carries, 71 yards, 1 touchdown. It's pretty good. It's like 5.3 yards per carry. Deebo Samuel continues to impress. 6 receptions for 115 yards, 1 touchdown. Cooper Kupp played really well. He had 11 receptions for 95 yards.
Whoa, I see 13 receptions for 113 yards.
Just updated, yep. 13 for 113. They could not run the football, though. Let's see. 6 carries, 22 yards. 8 carries, 13 yards. 1 carry, 11 yards.
Total, as a team, 17 carries, 52 yards.
Yeah.
I would say that's not going to change. I would say more of a Stafford passing stats might change.
Yeah.
As of right now, he is 31 of 47, 250 yards. He got sacked 7 times.
It's always crazy to me, too. As of right now, the Rams have ran 71 plays to the 49ers 49, and they still are trailing by 15.
Well, what was that stat that came up? This is the first time since 07 the
that-
Rams have not had a play 20-plus yards.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, that's insane.
2 turnovers. Looks like the Rams fumbled once, and Stafford threw a pick. They dominated the time of possession.
Yeah, the pick was in the fourth quarter, and it was a pick 6.
Yeah.
That's
That's the one
that
we
was what we
reacted.
saw.
Yeah.
The Rams had a chance to drive the ball down the field and tie it.
Yeah.
And then Stafford, like he usually does, threw a pick 6.
Yeah. It's rare usually when you dominate time of possession and have more plays. Both teams were very similar on third down, 5 of 15 for the Rams, 5 of 12 for the 49ers. So that wasn't really the story in this one. This one surprised me. I thought the Rams were the healthier team coming in. I thought they were going to get it done. But just not a lot of offense for the Rams tonight, only scoring 9 points.
Yeah.
But if you had Kupp on your fantasy team, he did what he needed to do.
He did good. He did good.
Yeah, they're conceding. They just ran it. Yeah, this game's over. So
Yeah, this game's
49ers. So both teams will move to 2-2. 49ers look good, man. Shanahan finally gets McVay's number. I think McVay. We said it in the pre-show or our pick'em show that McVay had Shanahan's number. So
49ers are heading to, or the Rams are playing Dallas next, and then the 49ers are heading to Carolina and playing the Panthers.
Okay.
So we'll see how they go next week.
Yeah, 49ers look good. They were the other team I had in the Super Bowl. I could still be right about them.
You could.
We'll see what happens.
Let's get into our last game of the week. Heartbreaking.
This game pissed me off.
Seahawks heading to Detroit and playing the Lions. Seahawks win 48-45. The Lions' defense is horrible. I think it is ranked last in the NFL.
Yeah, they have the best offense in the league, but the worst defense in the league, and that's a bad combo to have.
That's a horrible combo to have.
Okuda got cooked. He surrendered 124 yards on 5 catches. Just a bad day for him, a day to forget for Jeff Okuda, who I think is actually having a pretty decent year so far. Hutchinson was really the only bright spot on defense. He posted 2 QB hits on 24 pass rushing snaps. He also added 3 stops on run defense. PFF said that would probably be his highest rated game of his young career. Geno Smith, dude. I know the Lions defense is bad, but they made him look like prime Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
23 of 30 for 320 yards and 2 tuts. Goff can't do it all by himself, but he had a hell of a game. 378 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. It's one of those things that just too little, too late for the Lions at the end of the game.
Yeah, dude, their defense made Rashad Penny look like Barry Sanders out there.
Well, he had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
God, yeah. And he only did it on 17 carries, which is impressive. Usually, you see 150 yards, you're like, oh, he touched the ball 30 times.
Right,
nope.
Or 20 times.
Jamal Williams played really well with Swift out. He had 19 carries for 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Lions' offense isn't the problem. And Dan Campbell was pretty adamant about that in his press conferences following the game. The Lions today held kicking tryouts. I think they missed 2 point-after attempts and a field goal in this one. So they're trying out some kickers. The problems run deeper than that, though. This defense has to get something figured out. Campbell was adamant that this wasn't an Aaron Glenn issue. He said Aaron Glenn's a damn good coach. For those who don't know, he is the Lions defensive coordinator.
And he said that if he has to make the tough decision, he will. Okay, well, make that tough decision. Get rid of Glenn.
Yeah.
And then, okay. I'm not saying do it this week. I'll give the guy one more week. But if you're going to let the Matt Patricia-led Patriots put up more than 30 points on you.
Especially if they're going to be playing with Zappe. I don't think Jones is going to be back.
No, yeah, Zappe's playing.
So, yeah, I don't know. Next week feels like a must-win for the Lions. Realistically, have had a chance to win every game they've played this year. And, haven't gotten it done. That's history. Well, there's no moral victories in the NFL. It is a little disheartening, though, to see the Lions offense, especially Jared Goff, really saying, fuck the haters. I can be a starting quarterback in the NFL, especially if you give me the right weapons around me. I think T.J. Hawkinson set a franchise receiving record at tight end. He
looked good.
Had an amazing game after a somewhat slow start to the year, I'd say. He looked really good. Whenever you score 45 points and lose, that's tough. I don't know. I will say this. Last year when the offense was really struggling, I think it was week 6, they took play calling duties away from Anthony Lynn. Might have to see some switch-ups on personnel there on defense. Aaron Glenn's gotten some head coaching looks in the last couple of years. I don't know that he's the problem, and they really are working with very little on defense. We'll see what happens going forward. I know Aurarie, the corner for the Lions, is the lowest rated corner with a minimum of 99 snaps played this year on PFF. He sucks. They got to get that figured out. Sounds like the biggest multiple players and staff after the game talked about defensive players needing to trust each other more, and it sounds like that was quite the focus of the closed door talks after the game, is that a lot of these defensive miscues are coming on miscommunication or players not sticking to their assignment, and you'll get exposed in the NFL when that happens, and that's continued to happen. Lions overs moved to a cool 4-0.
No, 3-1.
3-1. Excuse me.
Lost last week by half a point. Thanks
that's
for
correct.
Remind me about that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
No problem.
Really do appreciate that.
No problem.
Bitch.
Just tough. Just a tough way for the Lions to lose this one. It's frustrating as a Lions fan.
It's really frustrating.
I guess, I didn't think about it. It was after the Lions game that things really went downhill for your boy on Sunday, so maybe it's the Lions' fault. Things got a little out of control.
No, you're just not an adult.
Okay.
Bitch.
But I don't know what Lions should improve as the season goes on, because they're going to get guys back from injury. I think Pascal, their second-round pick.
Yeah, I think he's practicing this week or possibly practicing this week.
I think he's eligible to practice this week. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we see them get him back. Also would love to see.
It just sucks having. I just go back to draft day. I'm not saying that he's going to make it that big of an impact to where it's okay, you're not going to allow 70 points in a game, but
yeah,
you moved up in the draft. You could have easily taken Jordan Davis at 12.
Yeah, Davis hasn't played very much for the I give you. They should have gotten an impact player on defense early.
My whole thing is, okay, well, you see how good this offense is without Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
Okay, what's adding Jameson Williams? Yeah, it's going to make the offense better, but you don't need it. You needed defensive guys.
Yeah, I agree.
And 2 out of your top 3 picks last year aren't playing right now.
Yeah, I know. That's tough. I do think that some of that falls on Brad Holmes. He does have a history of drafting injury-prone guys, but that are still good football players, and just saying, hey, we'll roll the dice. Defense is struggling. Another thing to point out is how well this Lions offense played without a lot of their top guys. Monroe St. Brown didn't play. Chark didn't play. Swift didn't play. Those were arguably your 3 best offensive weapons, and none of them played this game.
Put up 45 points.
You should have won the game. And I know there was some talk after the Lions getting screwed again by a referee messing up. I don't want to put too much blame on that, because anytime you lose 48, you let up 48 points in a game in the NFL, you deserve to lose that game. So regardless of if that call by the referee, which ended up resulting in a touchdown by Seattle in the next play, I guess if that doesn't go your way, you win by 4. But to me, too many other things went wrong. The Lions played too poorly to get to use that as an excuse.
No,
there have been games in the past where I'm like, yep, that mattered, and that's messed up because it constantly seems to happen to Detroit, but not in this game. They didn't play well enough to earn that. I don't know, that from me.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Who the Lions got next?
Pats in New England.
That's right. Yep.
They opened up at 3-point underdogs to a third-string rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Which is phenomenal.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
great.
This next week's, I would say, big for both teams, right? Because the Pats, obviously, with Matt Patricia getting fired and going back to Daddy Belichick in New England, he's obviously going to want to show off and shine in this game, and then obviously you don't want to lose to your old coach ever. So there's definitely some things to play for on both sides. Lions got to get it figured out on defense. I did hear today too that they're going to simplify the defensive play calling. Probably should have done that after week 1. Got to keep things simple for these young guys.
Shouldn't they make it a little harder since obviously every team is reading them like a book right now?
I think that they're saying that if they make it a little less complicated, some of these guys will be put in a better position to succeed. I don't know what that looks like going forward, but the Lions got to figure something out, man. You cannot be, it should be a bright spot. They have the best offense in the NFL. Doesn't fucking matter. What are they, 1-3?
Your defense just has to be average.
Yeah, no one's asking the defense.
We'll just say this. We'll even say this. Slightly below average. That's all you have to be.
It'd still be winning games.
And you would be winning games.
Yeah.
But right now, you have the worst defense in football, and not your what, 1-3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pathetic.
Yeah, 1-3, and they were in every game. That's got to be frustrating for that offensive group there. Like, what more else can they do? Obviously, special teams didn't help them with their kicker situation. I think Austin Seibert, their kicker, is supposed to return to practice this week. But regardless, they're trying out some kickers. That always makes me nervous because you just get some randos off the street. Obviously, they're going to have NFL or college kicking experience, but if they were good enough, they would already be rostered. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's always tough when you go into New England to get a victory, but we'll see. Offense is humming. Jared Goff looks great. Just sucks that after 1-3, he's kind of being overlooked as like any of these like NFC offensive players of the week are concerned. We got to win games to get rewards. So. But that's all I got.
That does it, folks. That's episode 10. It was decent show. Not just a football show. I like it. I like shows like
fishing and football.
Fishing and football. The 3
football and more football. Yeah.
3 Fs. Fishing, football.
Yeah. Decent show. Yeah. The turnaround, we didn't have as much time as I would have liked to get some prep done, but I think we did a good job nonetheless.
And there's just really nothing else to talk about. I mean, we talked. I'm not bringing up Aaron Judge again. Like, is Aaron Judge going to get 62? We'll just talk about it on Thursday, whether he got it or not.
Yep.
And then there's really no baseball.
Yeah, I think Thursday we're going to get into baseball stuff.
We'll talk about baseball. We'll be talking more about the MLB playoffs and all that. But it's just right now, okay, you have
most of the race is already shored up.
One wild card race possibly between Philly and
the Mets.
No, it's Philly and the Brewers.
Sorry.
Mets already have their spot locked up.
Yep. Sorry. Yeah.
And then I think the AL East is decided because I think the Braves won that division now over the Mets.
NL East.
NL East, yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. I think after the weekend, with the Braves winning that series, I think it put the Mets out of contention for the division.
You said something over the weekend to me, and I just want to bring it up. Because you said it to me. That the Yankees are the best team in baseball.
I was trolling you.
That's what you said. Right?
They're not going to get past the Astros anyway.
The Yankees are actually 1, 2.
Well, the Dodgers are the best team, right?
3. They are tied for 4th best in baseball.
Best, right? Who's the top 4?
You have
gotta be the Dodgers, right?
Dodgers sitting at 110 wins.
That's good.
Astros sitting at 104 wins.
Cheers.
Braves sitting at 100 wins, and then Yankees and Mets sitting at 98 wins.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. For context, for all you people out there, I said it jokingly and trollingly.
No, he didn't.
And all I said was I wouldn't mind the Subway Series, Mets Yankees. And you said I don't want to see the Yankees in the World Series. I was like, yeah, that's fair. So, all right, guys. One last thing we forgot to do. We have to pick the matchup for this week. For the Tucker and Izzy picks of the week. So let's get into that. Last week, what they both picked?
We'll just talk about that on Thursday.
Okay,
when we get to that section.
Okay. Let's see who we got this week. We got the Jets.
The Jets?
Yeah, who do the Jets play?
The Jets. The Jets are playing the Dolphins. Dolphins are heading to New York
and playing the Jets. That is the pick Tucker and Izzy is picking this week.
Hopefully, as he moves to 1-1, Tuck will stay at 0-2.
Nope, Izzy's going to move to 0-2.
That game could low-key be better, too, because Tua's not playing, so I'm sure the spread will be. I know they pick money line.
I'm looking at it right now. It is 3. Miami -3, so it's a close one.
Yeah, so that should be a good one. So look for that on Thursday. Have the dogs give their picks. But that's all we got.
That's all we got for you guys.
See
Love you guys.
See ya. But yeah, that does it for the show. Make sure you guys tune in later in the week. Comment below who you guys think won the top 5.
And then give us some suggestions.
Yep, some suggestions going forward, and we'll try to bring a little bit more energy for next show on to show number 11.
Show number 11, folks. Love you guys.
Comment, like, subscribe, turn on the bell so you don't miss any content going forward. Thanks, guys.